Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. See, just going live on all of the things. I have Maki running around. So she's gotten in this habit of climbing up my leg. Like I could be like standing, standing tall away from her, and she could just climb up my leg all the way up to my shoulders. It terrifies me because she's crazy enough to fall.
But she's probably pretty coordinated, right? Hopefully doesn't fall.
She is, but also she does fall. Like yesterday, she tried climbing up my back when I was like on my computer chair, and then she like fell, and I felt so bad. But she seemed just fine.
They kind of bounce. I feel like ferrets bounce a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess maybe at her age, maybe I shouldn't be too as worried. But like as she gets older, maybe start telling her to chill.
Yeah, I think that's like all of us. We probably take our falls a little bit easier when we're younger, and then the older you get, the less you want to fall. I'm kind of feeling like that about going back to snowboarding this year. I'm like, oh, but the falls, just the
Oh,
ground, the snow is so much harder than it used to be when I was young.
you said snowboarding, rip to your ankles and shins.
No, no, no. Ankles and shins are safe. No, it's funny actually. Like skiers, the most common injury is like knees and ankles. But snowboarders, since everything is just locked in place, the common area to get hurt is like shoulders and collarbones. Like
Uh, that
so,
explains.
don't worry about your ankles. Your ankles are fine. Your collarbone's gonna be broke.
Lol. And let's see. Good morning, Steve Sai. We have Rustan in the building, and Miss Gecko has joined us this morning. Welcome. Hello, Miss Gecko.
Yeah, good morning, Miss Gecko. Thank you so much for like creating that giant growing schedule of all the events in Web3 for the week. I love seeing it like really get big. I don't know, it feels like it's growing really fast and there's more and more events and things to talk about. So that is awesome. I mean, we're bullish on the space, but it's always good to see that too.
Yep, yep. From seeing Miss Gecko create that calendar, I've seen kind of like a wave, like I don't know if it was created, the thought was kind of concepted by Miss Gecko or it's just a recycled thought, but just getting a calendar, putting all your friends' events on it, and then just displaying it to the world is like great for, you know, first off marketing, but I've also seen like the inspiration from others, and others have been creating their own calendars as well, and kind of sharing it out to the world as well, and kind of like I feel like eventually all these calendars will meet each other, and it's just going to be like one big push from multiple communities and different places in Web3.
Yeah, completely. And I think that that's, I mean, sometimes it's like the repetition, even though like it might be like, oh, it's the same event every week, but it's like that consistency, I think, is that's like the secret sauce. I just sent you something this morning on Instagram, Sin, about like consistency. Like that is the number one thing that makes I don't know, that brings success is just like doing the same thing with fidelity, not like falling off the wagon track and just staying with it. And I think like we're on week 129. I mean, it's I think staying consistent and sticking with it on days where we don't have as much to talk about. We still do it. We just don't talk as long. But I think that's I have like a new appreciation for consistency.
Yes, yes, consistency is key. Vanessa, have you changed the coordinates to the space on Decentraland yet, or are we still at the usual spot?
We're still at the usual spot. I am working with Vitsky behind the scenes to try to replicate the screen. But yeah, we're at the same spot. I don't know where else. If you want to just go somewhere else, sorry, everyone. Like I can't test the screen unless Sin is streaming, and so during the week, it's just don't have a ton of time to like figure this out, and not sure why it's not working. But Vitsky says he can't get a screen to play either, so maybe it's a link. Sin and I will try to like talk here and be like typing behind the scenes and multitasking and getting it to get fixed without letting it show too much, hopefully.
Yep. Someone once even mentioned to me, and like they kind of like said like maybe it's not even the issue, like but like maybe one thing to look at is like the screen size.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
mean
too big,
it's not
heavy
a
stuff.
huge. I feel like it should just be, it should work regardless of that. I don't know. Um I mean, I'm glad we are troubleshooting it, even though it's extremely frustrating. I'd rather like get it solved before like new users come in that want to try to put something on their land. Like at least we have the tools to like figure this out. I don't know why. I mean, it should be just real streamlined, but maybe it's also the link in some way. Maybe it's not the screen.
Yeah, I mean, so I've heard of like scenarios, and this was with the last client, like of the link's not working, but then just like apply taking it out of the thing and then reapplying it, making sure there's no spaces on any end and deploying like helped somehow. Just just doing the same step more than once.
Oh yeah, I've been doing it for like 2 hours, so I know. I don't know. It's that's what I thought too. Maybe it would be, but yeah, I don't know. And it's the weird thing is it is working 2 parcels away. So whatever it is, it's isolated to this land. Whatever is being done there. Now there's is this silence for me, or are you talking
So,
in rug?
sorry, I had my mic muted because yeah, I was like looking here and even in the Central Land, we have a few friends here. We have Mary Shark joining us. Sir Degen has been like popping in as well more often. So good to see Sir Degen. Metal Wolf. We have Steve times two because we I see him in the space, and Hugh Pow is even in the building. Oh, Maki,
And
why are you so crazy?
I've seen our audience here on Twitter, Maltese Hub. Hello, Abel, and then Manish Kumar, one of our ambassadors. Welcome. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Hope everything is going well with what you're building. And Rustan and Steve. Good to see so many faces.
Was did you see Rustan's video this week?
I don't know if I did.
I'm gonna have to post about it on X. Tell everyone to watch it. I I like always love watching Rustan's videos like whenever they're released every week. Uh or like I get a notification at least once a week and like I always want to comment but the comments are always turned up.
On his like YouTube videos.
Yes,
Why would he turn the comments off?
I think I know why he would turn the comments off. Yeah. And good morning, Abel. I see you over there. Hope you had a good space yesterday with the NFT record shop. And oh yeah, that reminds me. I gotta uh shoot some applications or some Google Docs over to some musicians to see if they would like to perform at the music festival, Music and Arts Festival. So far, we have seven filled applications, Canessa.
That's good. That's good. So maybe we should explain a little bit because I think some people might know, some people might not. And yeah, I see, some awesome people in the audience, and I definitely want them to know. And I don't want anyone to be like, "Wait, what? There's something happening?" And so, how about you explain part of it, and I explain part of it?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll start. You know, I'm scattered brain. You can fill in. So at the end of this month, the 30th, November 30th, December 1st, Community Building Decentraland will be hosting a music and arts festival. We will be featuring a whole lot of musicians. So far, as I mentioned, we have seven on board. We want to try to make it a 2 day event, kind of allow, you know, if you can't make it Saturday, we're there Sunday, and yeah, I think Canessa could speak a little more. Well, I guess before I transition, I should talk about the form. So I have created a sign up form for musicians that would be interested in performing for this festival, contributing. And I've been sending it out. So if anyone's interested here, shoot me a DM. If not, I'll probably be shooting you a DM, inviting you. And yeah. And so on the art side, I think Vanessa could speak a little more on that end.
Yeah, and I think like the whole idea behind what we were thinking about came from like last year. The community really put together the music festival. Like 2 years ago, it was 100% like the foundation did it. We just showed up to the party, partied, left. And then last year, it was, hey, the community is in charge of this. So, a lot of the different venues in Decentraland did something, and then this year it's kind of back to the foundation taking charge, and which is awesome. I like the when they put together experiences, because it's got there's been some amazing music fest memories in the past, but we have a lot of talented people here who maybe aren't ready to be like the number one, like show of the Metaverse Music Fest. Maybe they're not there yet, like with their skills or their comfort level. A lot of awesome friends, just like this is their passion and their hobby, but they're just like honing their craft. So we wanted to do more like, okay, like it's awesome the foundation does this big one. Now let's see what like our friends and neighbors do. So you don't you don't have to be like the next up and coming Grammy winner to do this. Like even if you had one song and you wanted to like hey, I want to submit this for a small little piece of it. I think this is a place where we get to kind of showcase what we, the people who have been here through the bear market, are capable of. Not just people, awesome artists that come in and do a big event and then leave. I think the other part of this is there's going to be a lot of new friends, a lot of new faces coming in for a new music fest. Fingers crossed, hopefully. With mana pumping, everything, there's hopefully going to be a lot of new people. And like music fests or fashion week, they're awesome and they're big and intense, and it's like 4 days of fun. But then there's kind of that letdown after of like, okay, now what? So our hope with CBD is just getting some of the people that come in for Music Fest, giving them something, the very next week to kind of pinpoint and look forward to, maybe inspire them that, like, whoa, if I'm a small musician, like, there might be a place for me in Decentraland. Like, I could do this. Also, on the art side, if you're a visual artist, like a 2D artist or a 3D artist, if you make video, if you make, I mean, I don't, it, like pencil sketches, it doesn't have to be digital. Um, and you don't have to be like a renowned artist either. Like, I think everybody's an artist. So I was like, Sin, what art do you have for me? And he's like, I don't do art. And I'm like, yes, you do. Doodle something on a napkin. Like, um, I love celebrating people who aren't, making their living with art, but I think that we all have something to contribute. So I want your art. I'm gonna put it in like a little community art show. I don't care, man. If you draw a stick figure, you just draw the best stick figure you got, and get in touch with me, because that's gonna be like such a special stick figure, because it's art is way more than just music, or way more than just visual. Like, having the two components together, I think, I don't know, it'll be nice just to be able to showcase what our friends do. I love going through, like, I asked KJ Walker, I was like, what art do you have? Like, just paintings, like, not 3D art. Like, what kind of like other art do you do? So hopefully I can bug her and get some more. But please, if anybody has anything to submit, um, yeah, it's kind of where we're going. Kind of the hope is that we can still keep a little of the community feel, like the underdogs that have been here through the bear possibly need a little wellness check, because we stayed through the bear. I don't know. There's yeah, questioning our sanity, but yeah, that's gonna be November 30th, and then yeah, if we get enough people, if it works out to have it 2 days, maybe we'll have that rather than like one crazy day where nobody eats or sleeps, because that's always good for your mental health and well-being. But please hit us up. Um, Love to see what the community can put together, or if you know somebody, bug them to bug us.
Yeah, so at least like when it comes to the art, how have you done submissions? I guess we can talk about this since no one has come up to, or requested to come up, and it's just the two of us. Have you set up a Google form yet, or should I set one up for us?
You could. Otherwise, I've just been talking with people just in DMs. I've been bugging people that I know, like, have art, and please, like, I think it, I think a lot of people are like, I don't do art, or my art doesn't work in Decentraland, and it's like, no, I think everybody's does. Like, SRJH is a tattoo artist, so then that's a hard one, to like, how do you tattoo people in the metaverse? But he got me some time lapse of, not of tattoos. I do have tattoo time lapse of tattoo. I don't know how people are with blood, so this is not a tattoo, but it's like a drawing. So even if it's video form, I've got a way that I want to showcase that. Um, yeah, I think just I think it's small enough. Just hit me up in the DMs. I don't know. There hasn't been I've been chasing people. Nobody's been chasing me down. So maybe if we get inundated with it, then that might be different. But otherwise, just let me know. And yeah, but for the music, it might be easier to do the form.
I know that you've been handling the build side of things, and like has, or has there been any progress on that end? Is it looking all good? Are,
Oh yeah, yeah.
are friends like Metamus and others getting involved?
There's a little bit of activity. I think for now, I'm just yeah. I wanted to have something done earlier, and life works slow. Like, it's wonderful to have more land to work with, but it's also like hard to have more land to work with. So I'm excited. It'll be a new build that will debut for that, and I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm learning a lot. I'm pushing my brain like max capacity, but it's getting there.
That is actually a little bit of alpha for this small group that we have here today.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think I'm being evasive with the overall plan, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully I don't screw it up. Hopefully it works. Ah, yeah, such is life. My dreams are bigger than my abilities.
Yeah, that seems to be my roadblock as well. My dreams are bigger than my abilities. That's the best way I've heard it put so far.
Yeah, but that I don't know. Like I keep pushing and I keep like hopefully I figure it out. I mean, I can't even get the screen to work. I don't even know what I'm doing. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm too stubborn, and I don't have anything else to do. So I'm gonna stick with this.
Yep, yep. I mean, yes, even same here. I'm slowly trying to like think of ways to kind of slightly streamline um gathering gathering data on like what my friends are doing like in the next week. Uh because I have an idea that I would like to bring into fruition. Maybe a little concept that I could do like a video release I could do like once a week, constant, scheduled, but we'll see, we'll see. I do see. Oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah, yeah, do it. And then I was gonna say welcome to JTV. JTV and I talked last week a little bit about some of the conversation that came up. So I was like, oh, I don't even completely understand. I think like the concepts that we're talking about. So he was explaining it in DMs, and then we're like, let's. It's probably something that everybody has questions about. So thank you, JTV. Good morning. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, hey, good morning. Thank you for having me. And something that stood out with what you said was, the people that have been through it, through this entire, let's just say, bear market. It really takes a real type of, um, it takes something real deep down, passionate to kind of live through that and stick with it. So I really admire those that continue to stick it out and push through this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it's like, man, you guys should have given up a long time ago. Why are you still here? But if it's that, or if we're just tenacious and, there's something about this place that we love and that we see the potential in. And so even on the hard days, we're not, we're still here. So I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah, I think I mean, as far as like why we're still here, I could never ever take money for something and promise a project and then not deliver it. I would never be able to live with that. So I would say that's one out of one reason. There's another reason of, Decentraland was something that was the first Web3 experience for me that really opened up my eyes to what could be. And although there's still a lot of infrastructure to make, they've they've basically created the path for us to go on, which I really really appreciate those visionaries that originally did that. And it's something, as far as Exodus goes, it's something we're extremely passionate about bringing to the gaming world, and we're just extremely stubborn. I'd say that's the few reasons of why we're still here.
that's awesome. That must be like a shared personality trait with everybody still here. We're just too stubborn to go do something else.
Yeah, that's true. It really is. But yeah, there were just some things that were brought up, and I really appreciate you, having a conversation in DM, and I wanted to make sure things, were cleared up. We, as Exodus, we've mostly been quiet, and slowly, becoming mature. 2 years ago, the squeaky worm, I mean, the squeaky wheel kind of got the attention, and that's not really the greatest way to go about things, although social media is filled with people just trying to gather attention, and we tried to go with that, and then I would say in some ways it kind of bit us in the tail, but it certainly got us a lot of attention. But there's a lot of maturity over the past few years that I think that we've all kind of gotten across Decentraland in general.
Yeah, definitely. I think like I think we've all grown up a little bit. I mean, you think about the days, the crazy days of like late 2021, and I mean, I think we all I've seen my friends grow up. I feel like I've grown up, well, a little bit, still kind of a but yeah, we've been it's been good and bad. I mean, there's like that's what makes you grow, and games evolve, people evolve. So I'm glad Exodus is still here. I mean, it's there's a fewer and fewer projects and games being worked on. So anybody that's still here putting their time and effort into it, I think it's noteworthy for sure that you're still here.
Yeah. Well, I went and grabbed some statistics because I thought it was important, and I have some notes down of some topics that one that I listened to on that past space from last week, which by the way it was really good. I was like, Dr. Drip messaged me. He's like, "Hey, start at this point and listen to it," and I did, and I was like, okay, I was like, I'll listen to like 10 minutes. And, it was like the next hour and a half just kind of consumed me because everything that was being talked about was something that I was just like, I feel like things are finally kind of getting down to the real meat of things. And it was just really nice to hear that, to be completely honest. And, that was, I like that. And y'all been here every week. Of doing it over and over on the grind, and that's really impressive. And I think more people than appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I think that, like, my understanding, like, I feel bad that if I insinuated that that Exodus wasn't, I misunderstood your problem last week. That I thought that you were trying to go to SDK 7 and not getting the help that you needed. And then you said you guys did that a long time ago. It's the authentication that you were trying to get done. And I do not know what that means at all. So maybe you could yeah, just to like make that statement. You went to SDK 7. How long ago?
um August, I think, or maybe late August, we were completely migrated with Exodus. But I'll give you a little rundown of how that went, and I actually wanted to discuss that as well with the Dow squad, about the Dow squad. But so we started our proposal, and we initially posted the proposal, I want to say December. I don't recall the exact date. It's not that important. Anyways, the first pushback we got was that the SDK 7 was on there, and they didn't want to cover that. The plan was to have some other project, or I think at the time someone else was like, they wanted funds that are put in a certain area to cover those expenses. So we took it out. We were completely okay with that. 5 months later, okay, we've been working with the Dow squad for 5 months, and it seemed like for some reason people, or they started kind of poking at things that we were doing that they hadn't really brought up before and didn't seem to be a problem. So, after kind of digging into things on what they were concerned about, which, they never really provided too much detail on that like they should have, I feel. They got to the point and they're like, hey, you're not up to date with SDK 7. So we were like, well, we took that off the proposal and we didn't have to do that for this period. And they pull up, this is July, I think. They pull up a proposal from October of last year. So, a year and a month ago now. But anyways, that proposal that said that new granted projects must have up to date SDK 7. So, that's the first we heard about that. And as far as, their job goes, they should be very aware of what the specifications of the proposals that are granted should be, of course. So they kind of they basically said, if y'all want your last payment, you have this date to add it to SDK7. And I really don't think that they completely understood what they were asking. I don't feel they were super technical in the area, but it was a ton of work because we have a lot of front end, a lot of game items, um, lots of UIs that have to be interacted. So we basically had to like slam that in place. It wasn't necessarily done in a way that we were very happy with it, but when you're kind of under the under being forced to do something, you have to make it work. So that's what we did. Does that help at all?
Yeah, and just to be clear, you said you're talking about the grant support squad, not like random Decentraland users.
Right. Yeah, it was them. Yeah, they basically came to a meeting. They had a couple of them come in and they're like, "Hey, you have to get this done." And for us, we're like, "I don't even know how we can do that." But when you're forced to do something, I guess you figure it out. But anyways, we did want to put a lot more time and make sure things were done a lot more efficient. We've had a lot of bugs that we had to fix that took time from other areas because of that really super fast transition. But it really kind of put us in a bad spot because we had that plans out after for what we were doing, and instead it just kind of like rushed us to do something. So yeah, we are we are in the SDK7, and as far as the authentication goes, it's working with the foundation is extremely difficult. They don't give updates very well. They don't communicate with the developers. We have to basically, once we find out that it's broken, we go to them generally, and then they say, "Oh, okay, we'll fix that soon." And for this, we were hoping to be migrated to the new client for our Halloween event, or not migrated, but it would work. And once the time came, they released the client. We're in the dark of just like, okay, our stuff doesn't work anymore. Players aren't able to do it. So we're having to tell our players, hey, you actually have to use the browser and the old client, which a lot of people were going there on the new client and they really didn't know what to do because it didn't actually load the trees and the scene and being able to actually interact with the environment. So we messaged them, and it's really not necessarily a huge deal at this moment because of the stage of development we're in. But if we're at the point of having paid subscribers and users that are participating in our game, and we have to wait a month for them to fix something, and right now it still hadn't been fixed, that's really a really poor developer experience, and it really puts us in a really bad spot for our user experience because we lose control over that. But the issue is, and I don't know, I feel like it could have been a simple answer, but they didn't give it. The authentication is just how we basically a snippet of code that says, hey, we're going to check to make sure you're logged in. And it seems that they've changed that snippet of code or something's wrong with it on the new update. So we can't verify the new users and the new client through our servers.
Okay, my brain's trying to understand.
That was a lot. I try to break things up a little bit smaller, but yeah, that was a lot.
No, it's like when it comes to code, it's a little, yeah, it's okay. But I think what I understand is you've got a problem. You're working with Foundation, trying to get it solved, and they're busy at the moment, and I think their wait time is longer than ideal, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and what? Looking back on it, like we've worked with the Play Store a lot, and I understand that the foundation's not loaded with billions of dollars to do things with, but something that they do really good that the foundation may be able to kind of try to work toward is before they put an update, they send out developer information for them on those types of changes, which authentication change would be extremely important because that's like how that's just a really important thing. So what we didn't get, and I don't think any other developers did, when they released the client in alpha, they really should have gotten all the developers that are building games and activities in there and gave them some release notes and notes of, hey, y'all should make sure this works with y'all's activity. They didn't do that. They kind of said, hey, y'all can sign up and, we'll accept some alpha users. I don't know if they accept all of them that were sent, but they need to have more communication with the developers at the end of the day.
That is something that I've heard over and over again, especially like my understanding of how they've changed it, where in the past, the developers, because it was browser based, they could they could do something behind the background and see what was breaking their scene, and now they can't because it's it's an app. And so yeah, I think across the board it sounds like improved communication and just like yeah, probably, one thing I've heard suggested is release ideas and changes to a core group of developers before it's just released to everybody. That would help at least developers kind of like plan, okay, how are we going to figure this out? How are we going to change this and like adapt to it?
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, if we actually had, tens of thousands of people logging into Decentraland and participating in all these activities, it would be a really bad day if something like this happened, because now none of them can play. And I don't know. I looked at all the other games. It's a really interesting thing, but I looked at all the games, and it seems like most, or just I can't name a single game that has been granted that's migrated completely to SDK 7 that does work on the new client. And that's just really not that's not very good that's happened, because they've put the DAO has put I went and calculated things that were related to games, and it was about $3 million in games. I went and joined random discords and social platforms, and just looked at all of those groups, and they're all pretty much no interaction and communication in their socials. Is did I get?
Oh, you're there. I hear
Oh
you.
yeah, I think I left for a second, but yeah, what did you hear last? Sorry, I had something that interrupted my phone.
That you joined different servers and there was not a lot of activity, not a lot of anything
Yeah,
going.
yeah, there wasn't updates and things. I mean, if you go to our server, there's not really a lot of community interaction, but we do supply updates, questions, answers, and things like that, and are very active in those. But mostly we've been working on trying to get our things completed and have the beta release for the game. But anyways, it's really unfortunate that $3 million, and I know it, hindsight's 2020, but $3 million went to platforms that they basically underestimated what they could do with the money. They got to a point that they knew they couldn't get any more money or funding for it, and then they just left. And you can't. It's hard to kind of vet those, groups of people really with the way that the DAO works now. But ideally, maybe moving forward is trying to find some really key people that do have experience in certain areas. So the DAO covers a few different categories, and what they should have in their squads. So just real pause for a second, but I went through all the squad related grants. Something had squads. This is facilitator, DAO, governance, protocol, all those things. They had $1.7 million has been spent on those individuals. And I don't, based off the knowledge that I have, I don't think that any of those people that are getting paid, maybe I'm wrong, I would love to know, but have the skill sets in those categories that are being granted money. Because what they need to be able to do is say, okay, I am a game developer, or I've built something in the past that has been successful. And being able to kind of critique and look through and say, I see your idea. I think it's great. Here's some things that probably are going to make it not work, and be able to point people in the right direction. And with the DAO squad, and I'm sorry to be long-winded, but with the DAO squad, they've been paid, I think, around $440,000. They're not very technical individuals, at least from what I got, but they really need to be able to help and promote and benefit who they are, checking on a monthly basis. Like with us, they kind of just looked in, or y'all have, did you have your updates? Okay, things look good, and that's it. Um, but in the really down deep, it needs to be more of helping you make sure that your product isn't just complete and made, making sure that the quality is there, making, getting promotion things out there, which, if someone's getting funded, the DAO socials, because they use those, right? They should be promoting those as much as they can, because they should be trying to help those that are getting funded from it. And trying to solo things is really rough.
Yeah, I mean, a retweet goes a long way. Like, I think you kind of have to knock on their. You have to like go post in the DAO Discord to get like a retweet from them. And I get it. Like, that's just the way it is right now. Like, but there's so much more amplification that I think they could be doing. And but yeah, that one gets me too. I Yeah, I think you bring up some great points that it is. I think it would be more effective to have people who understand like the deeper functionings of a system, such as like computer coding, to be the ones helping you achieve your grant and making sure you're hitting your targets. Because I think without that understanding, it's I know there's some other grants that that did not finish their grant, that maybe didn't have the qualifications, but were given it by maybe one person in the community with a lot of EP, and that's where problems come up, because then it kind of erodes the trust of the people in the community, where then it's harder for them to vote on the next grant, that maybe those people are trustworthy and they are capable of fulfilling the goals and the objectives of their grant. So yeah, my hope with the new overhaul is that changes. If it doesn't change, I think we'll have it'll be like a fatal wound. Like, it has to change. It has to change.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I've been so for the past year, we've been trying to actually get investors for our game, which I actually have a meeting on Wednesday that I'm really excited about, that has some potential for that. But when meeting with investors, and they really have I, 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 they really have a great way of looking at things, because they're investors. They're looking at how something can work, who will benefit from it, and how they will make money. Okay, so they want to make sure this thing can move forward, right? And one of the things about it is, they already expect the qualifications to be met to actually be able to build what's being done. That's generally not even. I mean, it's obviously something they're concerned about, but when it gets to it, they're like, we already, you're coming to us, we already expect you to have the skill set to be able to do this, and hire the skill set to move forward with it. And which we can't quite vet proposals as much as investors can, because we don't have that skill set. But that's a basic thing of, yeah, we know you should be able to code and design. you know
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at other projects, I'm just thinking of like at the GDC, the Game Developers Conference, the world's largest conference specifically for that. There were, I mean, I don't know, hundreds of small startup games that were privately funded, venture capitalists, and like, or they were going around seeking funding for their game. But it was their skill set. I mean, they were capable of doing what they set out to accomplish. And I think that like we grossly underestimate the amount of time and money that it takes to put together a good game. Like, I think it's helpful for me just to zoom out and be like, Uh, Fortnite took, I don't know, was it 3 or 7 years to develop that concept and that idea, and I don't even know how many millions, if not billions, of dollars invested into it. I mean, the other games like Angry Birds, uh, um, our lead dev for Decentraland was on the Angry Birds team, and so she was telling me like these games, like a game designer might only work on 3 games in their entire life because it can take up to 10 years to develop this. And so I think when we look at our games in Decentraland, like we are literally like the ants on the anthill fighting the giants. Like we have it. It is such a cutthroat industry. It takes so much time to develop and test a game. It takes so much money to do that.
Right.
And so I think we're actually like we need to applaud ourselves for doing as much as we've done. But I think sometimes we lose sight that game development it is most game companies, studios have huge amounts of staff and way more money than even we do here putting these
Yeah.
games together. And so I think it helps to like, since our grants are 6 month grants, 9 month grants, 12 month grants, like we actually expect a lot to build an entire game in 12 months. That's kind of a tall ask. I believe from what I've learned, what I've been told.
Yeah, the expectations I would say are not really fully there because I mean the expectations are definitely too high from what's expected. Back when we were trying to get our proposals and grants initially, I think people were expecting like a completed project to be done on 120,000, which certainly isn't the case. But something that really does that was really inspiring to me. I met with a venture capital about a month ago, and he asked me. He said, "Okay, you know, we see games. There's games out there that are getting 30, $50 million of funding for it. And why does yours stand out against that?" Which it's such a great question because at the end of the day, um, for me is it's not completely about how much money something has. We saw Facebook threw $10 billion into the metaverse that we don't even know what is, right? But something like Apple started with $100,000 investment. And I think that there's two really important things for us in general to look at as like DAO members, and then also just for our own observation is it has everything to do with what innovations being brought and how can the team put that together. Because you can throw all the money in the world at something, but with the wrong team it really doesn't go anywhere. And that when I was considering and thinking about that, I was like, that's crazy. Because what they do is you get a small investment, you prove that what y'all can y'all are really capable of doing this. You have the right people, you have the right idea, you can get engagement, and now let's move forward to getting more money to where you can start having revenue. And I think a lot of the stuff, especially with pre-seed startups, like when they do a pre-seed, they're not expecting you to have revenue. They don't expect you to have revenue on the seed run, on the seed. It's not generally not until your Series A do they expect you to say, okay, people are here and they're about to get money. They're about to get their return on investment, and which can be years out.
So that is something that Web3 games are like struggling with across the board, like being sustainable. And I know that's a topic that comes up a lot in the DAO. Like, well, why isn't this game sustainable? So like when giant games like I don't know Shrapnel, Bloodloop are still struggling to be sustainable, where they have an ecosystem of people, putting in it, like putting money into the game, still playing it, extracting value. Like if it's like in I don't know in your experience, like is that even possible in Decentraland? And if so, like what would the requirement be? Like how many users and how many years out? I know these are impossible questions. At what point could a game be sustainable?
Yeah,
Sorry, that's
so
a horrible
so
question.
we estimate, um I can't speak for everybody and every game's different. um golly, there's so much I could say about this. Actually, I'm gonna. This may be slightly long-winded, but it's very informative. So I
That's
went
okay.
to.
We are here all day. Like there's no time limit, and this is we haven't talked about this for a while, so I feel like I think it's definitely worthy of talking. So please feel free.
Okay, so I went and looked at the Play Store statistics, and they have a ton of really great data because what they've made is they make these documents that help developers be able to decide like what do you want to make and how do you want to bring it to the market and what do players care about the most. So I went to one of their documents for MMORPG specifically, and they have some amazing data all through it. But something that stood out really heavy to me is eight MMORPGs on the Play Store spend twice as much money than any other game genre out there. Like the best other genre on the Play Store, MMOs are the most. But they also have a really difficult rate at capturing their users. But the ones that they capture, they have a 87% of MMO users on there don't play another MMO. So they are very specific and want like they're long term because MMOs are long term. They want a game they can play for a long time that they can enjoy that's very rewarding, and they're willing to spend money at twice the rate as anybody else on any other game. And that that's a really important statistic for people to consider. So with that being said, as far as us, we've estimated that we would be able to make money and grow with 10,000 active users. And that's really not a ton of users. It's not really a lot. We don't need an off the grid 5 million signups on the first day. Although that would be great, but I think for us, if we can grow slowly over time and really kind of get the quality and find out exactly what users want and build it for them, that we can really stand out, not just in Web3, but traditional games as well. And over time, you start to gain maturity and credibility with like, hey, they're not actually trying to steal people's money because Web3, it's got a poor reputation. So, I think it's more than capable of filtering a lot of people into Decentraland. I think we're more than capable to capture those. What we have to do is finish our beta and put our revenue models in place. And the last thing is, if you go to most of the games out there in Decentraland, they actually don't have the revenue models set up. You can't go spend money in most of them. And that's really why they can't be sustainable because they don't have a product that's finished yet. Same with us. We're trying to release our beta where we can have those revenue models in place and be able to grow our user base. And um, the instead of focusing on like the core gameplay, we can focus on enhancing the gameplay that we've created with revenue models that users can spend money and support us. And I really do firmly believe that we have some very hardcore users that anytime we actually have sold something, they've been the first people to buy it and they're still here. So, I think that they want to, and I know that those people really do actually want to support the project. And I think that's really the case of most people in Web3. They want to see what they're being a part of be successful.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's 10,000. That's a lot of people. um, but who knows what the future's bringing. I think looking at where Decentraland is in its process, in its like evolution and growth process. I mean, Kim was on last week just kind of telling us how the marketing and the advertising is going, where they're just beginning that process. So it's kind of good to know. I find comfort in knowing that, like, yeah, there has been no advertising because we're not ready yet. But now, whether we're ready or not, I don't know. But like, Client 2.0 is here, and we are starting our marketing And so, the idea is that that will hopefully bring in more users. And I think that, like, we just knowing that the foundation is doing something on that end of getting people here, and also getting, big events like the music festival that might bring in more numbers. I saw Kim post that there were more downloads for the new client this week than any day so far. So, just looking at as far as the numbers go, like, we do need to get, the more people that walk through Decentraland and see if it's what they're looking for. Then hopefully more of them, stay, find the games, and join join our ecosystem and stay and help build it. So thank you. That's really good insight.
Yeah, so I that's exciting that they did that they have had the most downloads. I did see that, and that was really good to hear. It means they're getting outreach, and kind of back to the 10,000 users. So to make it make a lot more sense. Um, so developers, like really good developers with like back end and front end and blockchain, they're going to get paid 150 plus $1,000 and pretty credible normal jobs. And you also want to make sure that who you're hiring is really good, so you don't want to like skimp on pay. But with that being said, what we kind of looked at to give a better insight on that is when you so we three statistics. The first one was old school RuneScape, which is a popular MMO RPG. Based on their users, active daily users. So that's people who log in, every day, right? And you divide that by their revenue for last year. They had an average active daily user spend of around $600. Fortnite, I think, had around 2,200. And then the new version of RuneScape, which is called RS3, was around $3,000 per user, active user spend in a year, right? So for us to have 10,000, we would be estimating, we can't say, hey, we're so good, we're going to get like, $1,000 from these users. Because that would be, 10,000 users, that'd be 10 million a year. But so we could maybe get to that at some point. And I think with NFTs and crypto, that because the ownership aspect of it, people will be more likely to spend money because it's a more sustained value. But for us, we think that users will be able to get users to spend around $200 a year, and that would put it about 2 million. So that would basically, and a lot of that goes into marketing. You really have to have a 30-40%, depending on the type of people. They may spend more than that, maybe less depending on who they are. So so 600,000-700,000 of that would be into marketing, the rest in development and also in growth. So it is a large project with an MMO, but I think as Decentraland grows, we definitely don't need the foundation to be like the sole people attracting users. And what's really great about the way that it's set up is users build their own experiences, attracting their own users. So I think what we'll find is if users can actually find those things that work really well and repeat that and go across to several games, we'll actually end up seeing Decentraland grow exponentially in users, and it'll be honestly probably look like an unbelievable thing. That's like, wow, I never thought we would be here. And I really do think that that's a possibility, but they do need to make sure that their developers are getting the information they need to be able to make that happen, of course.
Yeah, I think that piece right there is that's going to make the building more efficient. But I think that, like, the desire for better communication between foundation and developers, I feel like that's the piece that's just painful. Like, that's the part that's just festering. Is you've got, developers that have been building here for years, when there's a lot of other options out there, and yes, there's people leaving all the time, going on to different platforms, and I think that that's the common thread that I hear over and over again, is like, just better communication. So I don't know how to get that. I mean, I think we can ask we can ask for it over and over again. I know it was brought up to have like a private channel where development studios, and I don't know how to define those, but like the developers in the space could have a channel where they could speak, right to, foundation. Um, so maybe we just need to continue to be the squeaky wheels about that and be like, hey, we need these tools. Like we need them to build.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think that and they've been working on it over the past year since YAML started. I think that transition, we have seen a lot of, positives since that transition took place. And I think once they get everything that they're trying to do together and be able to make it work, well, I think that over time we'll be able to have that, better communication and things with them. And rather than saying, hey, we got an update going out tomorrow, y'all need to have your stuff working for it. And, have more of a, hey, we're pushing an update 3 weeks from now. Cause we really have a real plan, a real roadmap that everyone already kind of knows, but we're going to keep you up to date and make sure you have all the, notes and everything to, make sure your stuff's working right, which not every update affects every platform or every experience, but each update certainly affects some of them. Uh, so, we'll get that over time, but I think that they need to definitely get all of their things straightened out. And I think right now they've kind of taken the wheel. They kind of let the DAO try to run that and get experiences and things going right. And now it's just, I think they're trying to control and it's not a bad thing. I think they're trying to control the initial experience to get people in and enjoying their time, and that way they have the chance to kind of roam out and meet people and enjoy other things to keep them there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think like having, I got to meet a couple of the different people on the team. Like I really think once you meet somebody face to face, you it takes away that the separation behind the computer screen of like, oh, it's just the evil empire, like the anonymous people that we don't know that are trying to ruin our dreams, and then you realize like, oh, Lean is like a really nice, quiet person who's extremely intelligent, who is like working on 3 projects at once, and so he actually really does want to help. And like, I don't know, sometimes just that personal, like seeing kind of like the, what is it, the Wizard of Oz, seeing the person be the man behind the curtain. Like I think they are trying to help. I think they are trying their best. I think that there's pieces that we've asked for that maybe we haven't seen yet, but I also think like with this SDK 7, they have just been spread thin, working too few people working on too big of a project to feel like, and then trying to help us with all the requests in the meantime. So my hope might, I think that once, I don't know, once things smooth out and calm down, I don't know if I can even say that, like, I hope they do. I hope it kind of gets to like a point where everybody can kind of exhale, that we'll see like faster response times and like more support coming from their end, because I know they're trying. Like like they've helped me. I've gone into the the alpha chat and the other creators hub chat and in DMs and been like, steam coming out of my ears, and they've been super helpful. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to go take a walk because I was not my best person, because my build doesn't work and I don't want, like, it should work, and so yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
just
I hear that.
bugging them respectfully, or just like, oh, I don't know if I've been bugging them respectfully. I think I've been like,
Yeah, well, I think people need to initially be asked nicely, and then you know, um, sometimes some slight aggression is important to kind of get things moving forward. It just depends on how they are. I mean, it's kind of just with human nature in general is if you always say, if you're always really nice to somebody and kind of do anything that they kind of want and kind of go along with everything, whenever you, let's just say, act up, they don't really like it, but they generally act a little bit. uh, they'll they become attentive when you do that, because they're like, okay, something's off here. Why do they change their stance here? And then really, for people who want to actually make a positive impact, they don't say, wow, they're terrible or rude or being ugly. They can look at it as, okay, why did this person kind of lash out? And when you look at that, I think you can really find a lot of, when you actually really understand a person, you understand why they did it, and you certainly might have done the same exact thing. So whenever you turn your perspective around and say, why are they doing that, and kind of reason with it, you can come up with a really, generally a pretty logical solution on why it happened, and then just work it out and fix it from there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of my frustration came from like being somebody who, I'm a special education teacher. I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, and I could go out and like outsource a lot of my problems and be like, "Hey guys, can you just fix this for me?" But ultimately, like, that doesn't help me help the next person who comes into the CBD Discord or on Twitter or in DMs that's like, "Hey, I can't get my screen to work." And it's like, I'm not trying to fix this problem just for myself. Like, I want to learn like what is wrong with it so that I can help the next person. Because I think that that's, I guess that would be my biggest frustration is feeling like everybody has to be able to come in here and build on their land and deploy it successfully without like advanced coding skills. Otherwise, it doesn't have that like it'll lose so much if it takes more technical know-how to like create scenes and deploy them. Like that was a big draw, way back when, because the editing, like the builder tool was super simple, very just very structured and like easy to operate. So um I don't know if it's just me. I had a great conversation with Chrono T about like maybe I'm just getting too old for this, like where I just can't keep up with like the changes in tech quick enough to like deploy my scene now, do this and this and this. So I think like new users coming in, I'm nervous that it's way more complicated to build and to do these things than it used to be.
Yeah, the SDK6 builder is way easier to use. But kind of where they swapped it up was they kind of dropped a little bit of the user friendliness and focused on ability, and customization options. And it's good and bad, because it makes it difficult for everyone to kind of adapt to the new system, and also not just adapt, but learn all the new stuff that you're able to do, which can require some programming knowledge to be able to do it, even with their builder, which on the on the old builder, you just kind of placed everything. It's very easy. You could learn it in a few days, and you could kind of create an entire scene, upload your own GLBs, and do a lot of customization to make a really nice area. But they've gone toward a more customizable scene that requires a bit more technical information or knowledge to be able to navigate.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. I'm like, eh, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. Thank you to all the people that I've bugged, and I hate continuing to bug y'all, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. If I can get this screen to work, that would be awesome. I am talking with Vitsky behind the scenes, and he's like, "Yeah, it's definitely something with like, I don't think it's the link, but it's the screen in conjunction with the link," which kind of makes sense because we've always kind of had like issues with the screen on this land, and I wonder if it's even like, what if this land, I don't know, like what if the land, the NFT, because it's a very old one, like it hasn't changed out of my wallet for 5 years, like what if that is some kind of like component? And so anyway, I don't know, hopefully they can help us figure it out, but yeah.
It could be anything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for wants to come up and ask JTV some questions while we've got him here, or I don't know if you have any other ideas or visions of where you see Decentraland going. It's an exciting, crypto is kind of in a crazy spot. Mana is pumping today. Doodles are on McDonald's coffee cups. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that. Like, the Doodles NFT project is going to be on 100 million coffee cups at McDonald's throughout the holiday season. So, like, a win for one NFT project, I feel like is kind of a win for all of us. And there's some cool things going. So, yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts, JTV, of the next 6 months, the next year, what you think might be coming down the pipeline for us in this crazy little world?
Yes, I have some exciting opinions on those. Um, but before I say that, though, I would like to point out something that the biggest, well, not the biggest, but one thing that I've learned a lot, and I think that anyone who is developing a project, and even things that I would probably change myself, is what we need. What you should always start with, unless you do have a massive budget and a big development team, is start off with something simple that's able to scale. A good example, Wondermine was simple and they were able to scale. And unfortunately, I think that they failed to do that. Everybody loves playing it. It didn't require any, you just went out there, you mined some meteors, you got your resources, and you were able to mint NFTs. Very simple concept. Anybody can do it. They were going to scale off to fishing and other activities that they never fulfilled, unfortunately. But I think they really had the right mind. They had the right marketing. They were in the right place. They had the right ideas. They were able to get people, and they were able to scale it. And it's really sad to see they didn't. But kind of looking back is, in take it as you will for your own development. But making an activity that, like something like Wondermine, where you do have a simple thing that can be complete, a user can get rewarded and continue to do that. And that really doesn't require a ton of work to be able to do that. And once you have that and it works really well, you can scale to the next thing because you already have your users, you already know what they like, you're able to accommodate them and also attract new users because you're already finding things that work. For us, we kind of just built it, went and said, okay, we're going to build the biggest game in the world, which, come to find out, is MMOs are the most complicated. Well, if it's not the most complicated, it's an extremely complicated game to really make because of how big it is with all the things you can do. But anyways, as far as the crypto world goes, and I've been through 17 and 21, and it always goes bigger and crazier than you think. Decentraland was a platform with absolutely no use case outside of logging in and mining meteors and running around and meeting people. And I want to say they probably had 2 million people log in. I'm sure that they have the exact numbers on that. 10,000 people logging in every day. And they had a huge spike with all of that. And they had a $10 billion market cap coin. And you're like, how is that worth $10 billion? And the thing is, it's not. That's why it went down. So, and now they have to rebuild again. But with crypto, I think that there's been a lot of infrastructure made. I think things are going to get crazy. It's hard to see it because you're like, wow, everything's been in a bear market for so long. It's hard to see the light of day. But when it happens so fast. And, if history repeats itself over the next, 6 months, we're going to see the wildest ride of crypto that we ever have.
Well, I certainly love to hear that. I agree completely because I think that, like, even just think about the NFT space from when the bull run happened in 2021. Like, NFTs have changed and evolved so much. I mean, there's so much utility. Back then, you got an NFT because it could look pretty on your, like, your PFP, or you could just stare at the wall in your digital home and look at it. Now it's like, yeah, we're not getting an NFT unless there's like VRM download capacity. If I own the IP, maybe it comes with music. Maybe it unlocks like a music pass. Like the entire landscape and ecosystem has changed, where there's so much more use to NFTs than there ever was in the past. And I think that too, we grossly underestimate like what that means. And yeah, that's awesome to hear. And I see Rustan has come up. Hopefully with a good question. How are you today,
Hello,
Rustan?
hello. You guys can hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you, JTV, for chiming in. I love hearing your perspective. So many great points, and Kanessa also what you just said. It's there's a lot here to unpack, right? Like so much has happened in the last couple weeks, and I don't know. I sometimes I feel like I'm the only optimistic person in the community because I hear so much rage and anger and complaints about things. But I like to attribute that to perspective and expectation, and it's really nice to hear what JTV has to say because obviously you've been through it all on Decentraland with experiencing how to build and create and put things out there and test things and go through the grant process and everything. So you're someone who has valid response to how things work, and you're still here and you still speak positively. You're not bashing the platform, and yes, there are frustrations. um, but what I like to acknowledge is like 2 years ago we didn't know who we were supposed to talk to at the foundation entirely. It was hard. It was like, who is the person behind the curtain? We didn't know, and now we could probably name off several people off the top of our heads. um, I remember people complaining about how the Decentraland marketing Twitter channel would never promote other people's projects. In the past 6 months, I've seen them promote so many projects. They we used to complain about the music festival not showcasing community members or any of the festivals for that matter. It would always be outside brands and stuff. And last year budgets went down big time. They basically gave us the reins for the music festival, and this year now we have names that are not part of the community and a whole slew of names that are part of the community. It's To me that's awesome. Like, we're being heard for what we've been asking. They're doing what they can to listen and apply what we're recommending. And now more than ever we're able to uh, communicate more efficiently. And yes, it would be awesome to see better communication with the devs, and that's an ask that we have now that we hopefully will receive in the future. And but I just want to remind people like where we were 2 years ago. I mean, people complain about the bugs and stuff now, and like I can't really remember other than like early 2021 when I was first stepping into Decentraland. I can't really remember a time where we didn't have some major bugs happening. And when I look back at Decentraland then and now, I see like a huge jump in quality, in capabilities, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with how things look. No, it's not a flawless um, product yet, but it's only been 2 years. I remember in 2021 when Meta announced Horizon Worlds, they were saying that you're not really going to see the best parts of it until around 2025, and we're still not even at 2025 yet. You know, and people were already in 2022 bashing Meta for not having legs, and every little bit of negative press was being put out there against Meta, who openly said, "Wait until 2025 before you see stuff." And like, we can't expect perfection from the get go. In no time. We have to all be more patient. We have to all. I personally I kill expectations. I don't like expectations. I think they create disappointment. So I personally kill my expectations, but we definitely have to reduce our expectations and applaud the positives and the good things that are happening. Um, I think 2024, if there was some crazy metaverse boost in the media, I think we're more prepared than we were in 2021 to handle that. I applaud the community for being sitting there at Genesis Plaza every single day waiting for new names to come in. That's something that we were not ready for in 2021, and now we are so conditioned to handle that, and it's really awesome to see people welcome and greet new names and give wearables, and it's just who we are, what we do now. It's not even like, it's just like ingrained in our community, which is awesome. These are all like amazing things that are happening, and it bums me out to see people complaining and raging all the time. I mean, I've worked with Lastrom and Unknower for the last 3 years, helping me build on my properties. And last week, Unknower rage quit. Now VLM is no longer. And it's hard for me to understand why that's the case when both devs have made well over 100 grand on Decentraland with the things that they've put. So money's not the issue. Money's not the cause of their disappointment, or is it? I don't know. But I'm happy they're not. They're rage quitting. Lastrom took an emotional break after testing the client 2.0 because of the lack of communication, and he maybe unintentionally rugged a live stream server, and I couldn't show a stream on my property for like the first time in forever because his server wasn't working and I couldn't communicate with him. And so thankfully Billy T Coin had his own server and we were able to stream his DJ set at the Cove for my 400K party, which leads me. I just want to like extend a positive thank you to people like Billy T Coin, who's always been around, happy to help at a given moment's notice. Stony Eye, who's been here since before me, who's never complained about anything. He's always performing, drawing in huge crowds for the last 3 years, bear market and all. Low Poly Models, you never hear her bitch and complain and moan about anything. She just delivers product after product, tutorials on TikTok. It's just like endless giving. And there's just like look what's happening with Toxic Waifu and Mean Green Doge. They're like going for it. They're having fun. They're being extremely creative. They're doing everything that I've always encouraged people to do to really create the best opportunity in Decentraland. Face Moon, Mary Shark, Face Moon, the stuff that they've been doing, like all the people that are really like going for it, like it's great. And I want to see more of that. And it's possible. And everybody keep your head up. Stay focused. It's only been 3 years. Like, it's amazing what Decentraland has built. And also, I don't think you can really name any other metaverse platform that is doing what Decentraland is attempting to do. It's an open metaverse. Like, I think what Kanessa and Sin and I ran across the map, just left to right, a couple weeks ago. And I think it took us like 2 hours or something. I can't remember the exact time. There's no other metaverse that you can spend 2 hours running across a map. Other side is maybe the closest, and that's just a giant pocket verse. Everything else is a pocket verse. Creating an open metaverse as detailed by Ash from Hyperfy, who in my opinion is like one of the most genius devs I've ever met, it's a task that he doesn't want to take. I mean, that means something. He said that openly on Beyond the NFT. So it's like you have to really be patient and enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, because like great things have happened in the last 3 years. That's all.
Thank you, Ruston. I mean, I thank you. That's the pep talk we need, and I think, yeah, you brought up a lot. I feel like I've been talking a lot. So, Sin or JTV, do you want to comment on that?
One more thing, I had to share and forgot because, like I said, this is a lot to unpack. This past 2 weeks with Unknower bailing on the VLM, I've decided like I cannot depend on devs that take emotional vacations, but instead of like complaining and yelling and freaking out, I look for what can I do myself, And luckily Dr. Drip was around, and we were talking about this, and we just decided to just start attacking ChatGPT with coding questions, and we're like um, going at it, trying to figure out how to build things in Decentraland with SDK7 coding using VS Studio, and we had a great time, creative time, and I've already pulled VLM off of Kazakhstan and the Cove, and I just wanted to mention, like, there's like hope. Even if you feel alone, there's hope. I mean, we have AI on our side now, and it's really cool. And I've been learning and doing cool things, and it's not like everything else. It's not perfect, but with the imperfections, I'm able to find alternatives that are in some cases better. So, like, if you go to the Cove now, the lighting setup that I unveiled via the VLM, I spent a week building that, and then it's being pulled, which sucks, you know. So I decided, okay, maybe I should make it more interactive and allow the users to create the lights themselves, however they want. So now you can go into the Cove, click some buttons, and control the lights yourself without anyone else doing it for you. To me, that's like, and I'm testing all these things to see like what works, what doesn't work. But these are things that I didn't necessarily do on my own before, because I was dependent on devs to be there for me. So it's like it's cool because we're here to help you. And Vanessa, I'm more than happy to help you whenever you need it. Like, I understand what you're saying about like not wanting to depend on people, because that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, I don't want to depend on people anymore. But I'm here to help anyone who needs the help that I can give help to. And Drip was there for me to help me understand how to use ChatGPT in the best ways to code. And it's like, you know, we're a big family together, and I hope we can all remain positive and happy.
Yeah, thank you, Stan. I think I like I think we do have to decentralize our building. Like this, yeah, this week was a rough one, just as far as, yeah, not ideal in so many ways, but hearing that friends are affected by this, it's just like I never saw it coming. And thank you guys, like, for troubleshooting that and figuring it out. And I know that knowledge is going to be, you're going to spread that around, so that's huge.
Yeah, so a couple things that I'd like to add to what Ruslan was saying. There was a lot in there, but two things that stood out a lot to me was, Decentraland's been here a long time. I think it's, actually started in like 2015. Compared to all the other metaverses in the blockchain space, they actually have the most advanced developer kit out there, meaning that we're able to customize things far superior than any other project, at least as far as I'm aware. And that does show a lot. And basically being able to withstand all the downturn and everything only makes the characteristics of Decentraland better and more appealing and all of that. I think that new metaverses like Nifty Island, and it's really great. They have a cool platform. It feels good when you land in there, and all that. But they haven't gone through all the struggles and all the difficulties that Decentraland and Sandbox have gone through yet, and they're going to at some point. There's no way to kind of like circumvent that. So they're going to get to that point. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, how do we get over this barrier? And I think Decentraland is going to be looking in the back, the rearview mirror at that point. And as far as people kind of taking a break, that is we've had people do that with Exodus, and is the most frustrating thing that can happen, because for many reasons. But there's definitely a difference between a hardcore real founder and people who really believe in their product. Something that's always stood with me for over a year now, maybe closer to two. Sam Altman said that when you are, forget the term that he used. So basically, when you're stressed out, okay, and you don't even feel like you can kind of go anymore, that when that happens and you want to like take mental health, and I'm not downing mental health at all, but founders definitely don't have a lot of wiggle room for that type of thing, because what they're competing with is people that are really hardcore individuals. Is you have to keep going through it. It's going to be hard, but he said taking any founders he knows that's taken like a beach trip to try to and taken off for all of that to get away for a little while as a founder rarely comes back very in a better way. Um, Although some people do need a vacation, but what to backtrack some, he was specifically talking about startups that haven't really made it yet, not a company that exists that's had this guy working in it for 5 years that kind of needs a few weeks off. But anyways, it's rough to go through that kind of thing. And the more bad things that happen to you, as long as or us in general, as long as you're able to kind of get through it, you'll learn, or we'll learn a ton and be able to manage that better over time. And you also know, like, hey, who's going to be here with me throughout all the bad and the ugly and everything. And like through this next bull market, you're going to know who your friends are, because all your other people have left at this point. So, and yeah, just wanted to add that.
I mean, that ending right there. I mean, it's definitely great because coming into this bull run, it's like we have our tribe. Like, it's not like last bull run coming in and meeting everyone and kind of like building upon that, and kind of um it tends to be that in bull runs, whenever you create a group, that group is definitely inflated, and there's always going to be individuals, different characters, but the ones that really do believe in it are the ones that stay through the grind and make it out through the other side on the on the next bull run. Which, I mean, what it's looking like, it's like we're seeing the effects of possible crypto bull run here. I'm still saying possible because like you mentioned earlier, JTV, it's like after being in the trenches for so long, you're just skeptical about everything. And yeah, I guess I will take a moment to welcome some individuals that have came into the room, like a kid called MetaBeast, Mohedi. Good to see you, Bitcoin. We have DJ CK as well as Make. Awesome show last night, Make. We have Sophia Manson is down there in the listeners. Welcome, Cheddar Queso. M is in the building. Our boy Dr. Drip, Chronos. Welcome, welcome. Hey Zom, I love your new name. And also there I see a friend down there that I haven't seen in a while. So happy to see you. Hope you're doing well, House of Daybed. Um and let's see if there's anyone I miss. Of course, there's Old Guy and Sherry Berry in the building. Wow, so many friends we haven't seen in a while popping in today. This like is really putting a smile on my face, and it has been a awesome conversation so far for the last hour and 35 minutes. So yeah, make sure to like and retweet the room, everyone. Tell your friends that we're here, and yeah, perhaps if anyone would like to come up to speak, you're more than welcome to add to the conversations, or even share your thoughts.
Uh, did y'all happen to see the post that I posted about the default thumbnail image and Decentraland's logo?
I
Dude,
did. That's
I was
crazy.
just I was just looking through stuff and I was like, man, that sure looks familiar. Like that looks a lot alike. It made me kind of wonder, and it wasn't. I don't know how everybody kind of took the post. It was more of like curiosity. But like, who made it and where'd it come from, and why does it look like the default thumbnail image?
You know,
dude,
I
well,
asked a bunch of questions, and I was going to ask about the logo when I was with a couple of the founders in Portugal, and I don't think I got to that one. I like got some other good intel from them, but now I'm like, doggone it, I wish I would have, because I have Yeah, I have so many questions. It's like a logo that I keep seeing. Like some little girl was wearing a shirt from Target, and I swear it was like almost the DCL logo. I'm like, what? Like, what are the odds? So yeah, I don't know. Why didn't I ask?
Canessa almost asked the girl where she got her Decentraland merch before her.
No, I did. I was like, I asked the mom. I was like, where did she get this? It's well, yeah. To all you moms out there, it's Cat and Jack, which is like obviously the best kids brand at Target. And dads, you guys might know, you might know that too. But yeah, I swear, I'm like trying not to freak out in front of them. And also, JTV, you had you were, yeah, you brought up like I think actually you brought it up, and then Ruston built upon it, like the founders, how we, in the last bull run, we didn't know too much about the founders. I didn't realize like there's actually a reason, like they've kept their lives very private, for good reasons. Like I almost sold my land in 2021 in the summer because I was like, I can't find a single article on these people. I don't know who this is. Like, Yamel, I don't know who that is. And like to put it into perspective, I was going through my phone and I have video of me and Yamel looking inside a toilet bowl flushing in Argentina because I was like, guys, the water goes like clockwise in the northern hemisphere and like counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. So like that is progress to be like, I don't even know the founder, to now I have like us like with our hands like way too close to the toilet bowl. Like, is it like doing like this like experiment with the toilet? So whatever people say, like they are way yeah, they're way more attainable, I would say, than we ever kind of thought. They're definitely not the people behind the curtain. I mean, they are private and they have their reasons. So I respect and honor that. Like, it's definitely a different world where they live in Argentina. It's not the same. So totally respect that. Also, I don't think we talk about it enough, but like Yamel is a drone pilot, like a VR drone. Like that's his side gig when he's not making Decentraland. Like he's in VR, like racing drones. And there was a interview I posted to the top right here from Web Summit. Big giant summit, a lot of people talking. Yamel was at that and he spoke, and it was really interesting because they interviewed him and a few other people on the panel of like what device they thought that the future, what will people be accessing Web3 tech in the future. And most people were saying mobile, and he really was like I think really an advocate for VR. And so I'm like, it kind of clicked to me that we have like somebody that just sits in VR on his side time creating this. Like this might be way bigger. I don't know. Like, it just clicked that like this guy loves VR. And of course, like he's got bigger plans for us than we might even realize, or like I might even realize. So anyway, that is a cool interview. I think everybody should check out. It's just cool to see him, speaking with a couple other founders and answering questions. And I think those give you, just a little bit more insight on what he's thinking behind the scenes and potentially where we're going.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't know that actually about him as far as the drone stuff goes. But recently I've had a lot of thoughts on the evolution of gaming, because when we, the initial start of it was like, or this may not be the initial start, but board games were like the way to play games 100 years ago, and it transitioned into games where it's really essential to be able to because you were able to buy it. It was cheap enough to, like, anybody could own it. And then they were able to, play it and get them all throughout the homes of people who wanted to do that. Although the experiences weren't extremely great yet, but they were there. And then it migrated to, like, you have. Sorry, my kids are. I'm probably about to have to go. They've been really good for the past hour and a half. But anyways, the transition between the console and PC kind of came up at the same time, but the internet really changed a lot of things because it wasn't all about hardware anymore. It was about being able to play with other people all around the whole world in a social environment. And gaming, not just gaming, but like literally so many things online revolve around people getting to know other people. And if your platform doesn't have the ability to do that, it's really rough. And some experiences are very similar. The issues that we had with online gaming is actually very similar to Web3 in the aspects of, all the issues you kind of run into. When the internet came around, it was actually really difficult for people to take transactions. So you were sending for some subscriptions, you would send dollars in the mail, which may or may not get to where it's going because people steal stuff. Before credit cards were really a big thing. And there's also bandwidth issue. Then back to it, it was the transaction stuff. There was the issue that people didn't actually have internet, or they may have had a phone but dial up and it was too slow. So having those interactions was really difficult. And we experienced a really delayed, slow system that has the potential to become very efficient with blockchain. And those really are a lot of similar issues. But where this all kind of stems from is we haven't had, outside of mobile gaming, or let's just say mobile in general, we haven't had any like off the wall technology.
Police body camera video shows the moment Brittany
viral in the day-to-day use of people. And I really do think that has to go to a VR like system. And I don't think that the metaverse is on your phone. I think that there's a much better experience, and that's kind of where we've gone over a long period of time, is things becoming more efficient, easier to use, and a better experience.
For sure. And I think more immersive, like the more I don't know. I mean, I think everybody hopefully at this point has really played with VR and gotten into it. I think once that really starts to get like mainstream even more, it is a game changer, I believe. Like I got to try the VR headset for Decentraland in Portugal, and it was like I almost hit a table because it was just like I can't even explain it. Like it was so real, and because it was like a home that I know Decentraland from the keyboard, but to all of a sudden be in it, like in a whole new way. And I've done VR, like tons of VR, but this hit different. I was like, this isn't like I'm logging into some new game I've never been. This is my home, and I'm in my home, and I'm even more immersed. And then there's other components. Like I'm trying so hard not to buy the Woozer haptic feedback vest right now. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Like Instagram knows that I want it, and so like you can get like a belt with a little buckle that vibrates every time you get shot in Fortnite, and then there's also like that one is only $200, and then for $500 you can get the whole vest that like gives you haptic feedback like every time you get hit. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need this so bad. Like if you can imagine having that in Decentraland where maybe you're feeling the emotes, maybe like if somebody walks through you, you get the like, the vibration sensor. It's a little harder to imagine it in Decentraland, but like those immersive VR experiences are just insane. I've done two of them. One is the Void in Disneyland, where you are putting on the entire vest, helmet, gloves, and it's haptic feedback. Every time you get hit, you're getting like it's not a shock, but it is not pleasant. Um, with and you're walking around a maze, and so there's this one part where there's lava, and when you get to the lava, they must have had a heater in the real world, and like you're feeling the heat from the pieces in front of us. And then in San Francisco, I was able to do a VR experience with Kim and Yamel, where they didn't have that level of like realism, but there were other real components to it. So I think like I guess I should buy the Woozer, guys. Like when you add that next element, like the feeling that it just, oh my god, it literally hijacks parts of your brain, and you're like, this is real. This is way more real than VR on its own. Oh gosh, I need $500 to go buy that. I'm trying so hard not to, but now I'm like,
Well, now that you've set it on your phone, it's going to keep shilling it to you.
oh shoot. Then what is a cheaper option than Woozer for haptic feedback VR for Fortnite and Decentraland? There, maybe there's competitors. Oh gosh.
You
I
need
was
a
gonna.
little kid, you know, whenever they see this, you hook it up to your display on your TV, so when they see it, you get shot, they just kind of hit you. That's a cheaper alternative, and they'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, when my kids were little, I had them do a VR thing where you were in Antarctica and you were in a kayak paddling, and so I actually put a life jacket on them, put it like the VR things in their hands, and then there was like wind, and so I would take a box and like fan them like with the wind. And when they would fall over, they would just freak out.
That's
So
fun.
yeah, it's pretty fun. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna find the Woozer thing and pin it to the top so you guys know what I'm talking about.
There you go. Well, look, I really appreciate the conversation. I need to go take care of my kids. So
Wait, one second there, JTV.
all right, go
A
ahead.
100 years ago on board games. I'm stuck on that one. 100 years ago. Come on, man. It wasn't quite that long. I mean,
Yeah, let's say what, maybe 60s, 70s. I don't know. Monopoly got huge in like the 1930s. So, and chess and checkers were definitely like pretty popular in the late 1800s. But yeah, the arcade wasn't until like the 80s or late 70s.
yes. And I know you tried to jump in real quick before I say more sinful. Did you want to add?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Um, I kind of wanted to say, so all my experiences, there is no other platform that has as many discords as Decentraland. We have the three big ones, and then all the different countries, and in some cases NFT discords of people that are in Decentraland. Um, it's probably the most active Discord. Um, and there's only two that I can think of that have maybe quite as tight knit of a community as Decentraland. Uh, I am in a way reactive, like our president, soon to be, in my voicing of frustrations and uh, displeasure with Decentraland. But for those of you that were there Wednesday when we had the pleasure, old guy and I had the pleasure of having Kim Courier as our guest, I mentioned, despite all my yelling and uh, horrible things I may say sometimes, I'm still there. Um, I'm seeing it's. I don't want to say it's nice to see, but there's something to see if you're in the alpha chat still. A lot of people you don't always hear from, and you're seeing seeing them go through some, them having completely different level issues or problems. Um, it doesn't make me feel quite so bad, I guess, because sometimes mine might be simple or petty. I will admit that, but we're all in this together. Um, it's also it's very kind of refreshing to hear how positive Kim is. Uh, I haven't talked or seen a whole lot of master weigh-ins lately, but we've had somebody in there with us that works with the foundation a lot. Finally, I know sometimes they still may or may not really be. It's hard to tell if how much they're actually listening to us. Still, I know, and that's frustrating. But Decentraland definitely is a total different experience. Um, as far not, there's some metaverses out there that are our app, phone app only. Not many are uh, uh, desktop, laptop, and mobile. Excuse me. If you haven't tried the mobile, you can find out how you can click on it. iOS, I think it's through the test flight. It's it's actually pretty good. It sucks now, of course, that you can't be with people that are on the new client 2.0. Um, I don't like the chat, but that's only because it's so freaking small and not a whole lot they can do about that. I do hope that they continue to work on uh, the VR, especially too, because a lot of these platforms too that are starting to open up, because a lot of them are just now recent. There's not many that are that old. One has always been VR, at least as far as I've seen it. One has started to build or create a VR version. So VR is definitely somewhere I feel we need to be going. Um, but yeah, I wanted to throw that in there.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think just hearing Kim come on your show, that was a great interview. It was awesome to have her. Wish we could have had her for longer. But I think just the ability to like ask her those questions and you know, usually there's like more there's always more that she knows is on the way that maybe she can't tell us. And so it's like if she's bullish, it's like, oh, she's probably bullish because she knows what's coming, 3 months from now or 6 months from now. And like the conversations that I've had with her, like she's the right person for that job. Like she's awesome. Like she's driven, and um I'm just glad she's there for our team. I mean, they've been shipping really good updates. Everyone, make sure you go to Epic Game Store, put Decentraland on your wish list if you haven't already. It is there where we could add it to the wish list. I'm not 100% sure. Like then, I believe that puts it in the queue to potentially get added to the Epic Game Store. Um,
I
yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was
You brought up.
officially on Epic,
I could be
and
wrong.
I think you can. I'd have to double check too, but because I did go look, it is searchable for sure. Um, and I want to say you can download it. I can't remember for sure because I already had it downloaded, so there was no point in me doing so. But I do believe it is. Um, so that's pretty cool because yeah, more and more things are. I mean, if are doing that. Um, like Somnium Space has been on Steam, so that would be another great place to get someday. Um, and I know some others are working their way towards that. I know of one that quote unquote says that they will be available on Xbox and PlayStation along with Steam and Epic as well. But, you know, until that happens, we'll see.
I think a lot of those are like, I know they've talked about it and it's in the works. I think that Steam also, I know in the past it's just Web3 games. I think, yeah, I think in the past it was like a blockchain issue, but I think more and more are getting added. So I don't know where we are with that, but hopefully we will go down that pipeline as well. And I mean, I know that's the intent, to get everywhere that every other game is. Probably just waiting for the client to get really like ironed out and everything around that. AJ, hello. I'm going to pass that over to you because I know you were up earlier and dropped down. How are you today? How was your walk?
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can. Can I have that simple?
I cannot hear. No, I didn't even see the mic go off. Try it again.
Okay, hold on. How about now?
I do really good.
Let me
I do not
drop
hear
down
him.
and come back. I'll come back.
He's got to drop down, come back up again. Do. I was going to call it the walk of shame, but it shouldn't be a shame for us. It's a shame on Elon.
Yeah, Elon, stop trying to insult those in the government. Thank you.
Well, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm out walking as usual. So I'm trying to go on the route where I know that I have cell phone coverage. Anyway, I was super thrilled to hear from JTV and all of his experience. I'm happy to have him as part of our community. Also, really appreciative of what Rustan had to say. It was really good to get a sense of perspective from specifically those two. Also, good to hear from you, Existence. In terms of like consistency, you're like one of the people that's like always around. So I just want to say I appreciate you, and certainly to Sinful and Kanessa. As somebody who's, you know, myself had a show that's been around probably about the same amount of time as you guys. It's hard to be consistent and to be here every week. I know, like, maybe for a week or two, one of you will drop down, but it's like you guys are, with a few exceptions, always been here. So I appreciate that. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. I read an article today, you know, just sort of trying to get the current bull run in perspective, and already, you know, the mania has begun, and people are complaining about not being able to ape into all these different alternate coins and whatnot. And the advice was, you know, like, hang on to some what it called like blue chips, and then take like 10% and dabble and have fun. And I think that's a good way. It's called I think it's called the dumbbell or the barbell. So it's like, forget about what's in the middle where all the maxis are and like freaking out and trying to buy into everything. It's like there's gonna be so many more also rans that there's a leaf blower over here, so I'm gonna go the other way. There's gonna be a lot of shiny new things that come up. They're gonna try to capitalize on this mania, and you know, it may look like, oh well, this is gonna be the DCL killer or whatever. It's like, definitely go in, dabble, and have fun, but I'm only going to give it like 10% of my attention. I consider DCL to be, one of the blue chips. There is definitely something to say, about reputation. It takes about, 7 years? It takes about 7 years to be a company that's been around for 7 years. Organization, whatever you want to call it. I think that that's important. It's important to be mindful. It just didn't happen overnight. Maybe somebody's going to come along and craft a really exciting narrative, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I want to hang out and see this cool new thing." And definitely do that. The reason I'm thinking of this is I was just hit up in my DMs by one of the other metaverses that I have a parcel in, and they're like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a relaunch. We want to know, what's going on with you, and what do you think about?" I'm not going to name the company, but it's already started to happen. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and then I'll drop down and listen or whatever. Just want to be conscious of my airtime. Is kind of like what JTV was talking about. The earlier times for video games, and like each era, like a major thing was solved, and that enabled a larger audience to come in. And you had the arcades, and then you had the consoles, and then you had the internet, where you've got PC gaming, where you can you've got that social aspect. And it's like, I don't think we still even know what the thing is that Decentraland is going to solve, right? But what I do know is, at least for me, I'm here to make friends and make memories, and I think Decentraland excels at that. And I don't know that that's anything that has become vastly marketable, or it's found its thing. It's still trying to find its thing. It used to be called the killer app. So when I hear JTV and Rustan talk, I also think about being patient, to wait and find out what that thing is going to be. But yeah, I'm here for you all, and I'm here for the times that we can spend together.
Thank you, AJ. The friendships created here are amazing. Someday I'm gonna be able to spend more than like a half an hour in an airport with you. I've only met AJ twice, but both times have been in an airport between flights. Once it was his flight, once it was mine. He got to see me after 40 hours with no sleep, from Portugal to Amsterdam to Minnesota, and like, oh my God, AJ, I can't even look at that picture. I'm like, I was like delirious, but still, like, that was good coffee. I can't wait to like spend maybe even like an hour with you. Like, maybe we could even get like a cheeseburger or something. Like, wouldn't that be crazy? But that's like the magic. That's the power of, like, yes, I'll drive over 2 mountain passes, a 6-hour round trip to spend a half an hour with you drinking coffee in an airport, for sure. Like, hands down, because the friendship that I have with you, it's not about like distance. It's not about like, that's the beautiful thing here, is that friendships no longer are limited to your physical location in the world. Like, our friends are all over the world. Our friends are sleeping right now. Some of them are just waking up. There's somebody on Parcel that just said they're from the UK, and I'm like, do you know Scat Lion Rock? She's our ambassador from the UK. So Yeah, like it makes the world way smaller for sure.
Hey Dave, really happy that you come up to speak. Oh, your mic was open. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I'm no worries.
I want to go ahead and try my best to recall how Kim said it. And I know they've stated it before, but the way the foundation does things is, I believe it was 8-week increments. They focus on different kinds of category-specific issues. My biggest question in regards to 2.0, which I kind of wanted to keep to a minimum because I knew a lot of I know there's so much going on with it. I didn't want that to be the focus, especially with next week being music festival. I wanted to hear some about that. But I did ask specifically about the smart wearables because it's, the Decentraland marketplace and the ability for people to create such wearables for their avatars to personify themselves is a top selling point. It's something no other place has. And the fact that they gave it to us, they made it possible, made it happen, and then a few months later, you can't. They're kind of obsolete. You couldn't give me a specific time. It wasn't. It did not sound. It definitely wasn't on the current one. The next 8 weeks starts sometime in December, and it may or may not be on there. But I did try to escalate that. Hopefully, she relays that. That's all I can say. But and I'm trying to recall if she said they have that listed somewhere. I think they do. But I guess for now, hoping for a huge success and much more retention with people coming to the next music festival. I am excited about it. It's one of my favorite genres. I see Steve Sy down there, one of our locals that's going to be a part of it. There are several others, Tracks and Stony Eye, Buffalo. Sorry if I missed any. She had to look at her list too to confirm everyone within the community. But I am kind of excited to see how well it goes, and not in regards to the client, but with the names that are coming in that I'm unfamiliar with. It's certainly not the Ozzy Osbournes, Bjorks. So possibly hopefully a whole new influx of new people. Um, I've certainly been seeing new people. Actually, was talking to one person just recently too, trying to help them some. But I guess it all remains to be seen.
Thank you for asking about the smart wearables. I think the way that you worded it was very good too. Of like we created these, we spent the time and resources to make them to make them, and now they don't work. So I don't know. I I hope they're out sooner than later. I know that after right now, the 8-month rotation is focusing on maps and discoverability, and then after that, it's going to be friends. And so, for everybody like wanting our friend list, that is next up. So that's awesome. I'm glad that, yeah, that's an important one.
And it may or may not be the full 8 weeks. Some things get done sooner along the way and they roll it out. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I know there's like a few of us were asked to just give our opinions on like just kind of the idea of like making communities, and Rochu, explained to us there were parts of it that they wanted to put into the official 2.0 release, but they just had to pick and choose which pieces were ready to be, fully developed and given out on launch day. And so she was like, like it broke our hearts, but ours got pushed back to January 1st. So I think just knowing that there are parts of this that they like, some teams really wanted it out, and then for whatever reason it was just not put out all at once. Like, I can understand, maybe it's like, man, this is going to be too much if we put out too much and everything isn't working, we don't have the manpower to fix it, so better to put out like a functional project 3 months later, when it's reliably working. So I think, yeah, in the first of the year, my guess is we'll see a lot more, but I'm not sure about smart wearables. I hope they fix them. I know that that's like a really, people have done amazing things making the entire map their game or like making the entire map interactive no matter where you are. So yeah, I don't know. Thank you for bringing it up. I think that was needed, very much needed.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people, and it's definitely been kind of a sore spot, because not only did the people take the time to create some cool ass things, people bought them and now they can't use them. But it definitely, at least to me, feels like we've gone very far backwards. But my understanding, and I seriously hope that one of the reasons behind it is to ensure bigger growth or advancements to the platform can be made. I certain if I can't even tell you what I'll think if they ever do I'm calling it kind of a reset and starting over again. Hopefully they don't. I will say this. Um, I have gotten my first piece of land. I'll be buying another one here, hopefully pretty soon. And I know others in the communities that have been buying up land. Of course, a lot of that also kind of had to do with the prices coming down to me a much more reasonable um, and attainable price. But people are buying land. I even saw one day, and I snapped a shot and sent it to Decentraland. I said, "Did you see you are trending on OpenSea?" So I haven't noticed it in a while, but I did see it that one day, not too long
I
ago.
think it was the day I bought a few parcels of land, to be honest, because if like, I think it was
A few?
uh
It was trending, so
I
must have
may
been several people
thought
too. But
some
yes.
some friends might have been buying. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much it's got to how much. I don't know if it's the number of transactions or the number of the monetary value. I like just this week, like seeing the Doodles NFT project get on the McDonald's cup made me really like deep dive into like, okay, like why them? Not that doodles aren't cute and stuff, like, but they're $8,000 a piece at the floor price right now. Like, they're they're doodles. They're not as beautiful as my beast or as clone X's that I wish I could afford. But then I'm like, okay, what is their like volume of sales versus like Bored Apes versus clones versus beasts versus Decentraland land? Like, and when you, I don't know, like it'd be really interesting for somebody that wants to deep dive data, like looking at overall volume, because Decentraland, I mean, there's a lot of volume. Like there's expensive parcels of land. I think I was joking with you about like, oh, we should just like, let's just sell our land and just flip and like peace out. Like, no, I'm joking, but um, yeah, I don't know. There's some crazy amounts of money being transacted out there. Can't wait to get that Doodle Cup in my hand. And then that like paves the way for the Decentraland McDonald's Cup. I don't know. That might be a stretch.
I've heard a lot of chat in spaces and or just in my feed too about about that. Um, some complaints that why they do it after they just had the onion affair. Um, all places end up having that at one point in time, but also just the health aspects because of it. Oh my God, Darius just came into the space. I'm sorry. Shout out Darius. Um, Shit, I just lost my train of thought now.
No, you just got
Yep, it's gone.
starstruck. Since it happens, Darius is a legend out there.
Yeah, I think one of my earliest first music NFTs I bought was collab, and I love this so much. The collab he did with all the Web3, a bunch of the Web3 gang music people, called Off the Strip, and it's one of my favorites. Clay John is part of it. Sorry, so yeah, a little starstruck.
Yeah, yesterday he was the featured artist at the Beast Roaming party that Make was hosting.
I know, and I wanted to be there, but it's like the one main day my friend IRL friend has off, and he gets mad at me about Decentraland sometimes. So, although he demanded that I give him one of my T-shirts, motherfucker. Sorry. And shout out to Rastan, who also always. I've heard him get a little down on Decentraland too, but he's pretty much remains positive, and what he always tells people, figure it out. That's what he does, and I agree. That's what we need.
Vanessa, is your mic unmuted or is my thing just glitching?
No, I think it was glitching. My mic was on, or my mic was muted. It was off.
Okay. So big shout out to Darius. I see Sean down there as well in the listeners. Mal Maliak. Sorry if I butchered your name, but happy you're here. We saw you pop into the build on Decentraland, and I'm happy that you made it into the space so you can kind of listen in on the conversation and kind of see what we're all about. We gather here every Saturday at noon Eastern, and we host these spaces. It could be between myself or Vanessa that hosts the space. We also stream them out, and now we're following each other on X. So keep an eye out, and And let's see, going down the list, misconduct. Thank you so much for being here in the space. Um, let's see, I see Webby Social down there. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Uh, I think I said hello to Sir Degen, but I didn't say hello to Mary Shark. So a fine mew mew to you, Mary Shark. And yeah, I'll pass it over to Make. I see his hand is up.
Mic check, 212. Mic check. Who look good as you? How we doing, family? Uh, is this thing on?
Hi.
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 First of all, Sin, thank you for rocking with me last night till late and talking me off every ledge we could be on. Mr. Darius, thank you so much for coming and sharing your vibes with the Decentraland community. We are so fucking stoked to have you. And you know, just like anything, taking that jump to see what we're all about and to let us enjoy what you're doing means a lot to us. So I wanted to say first and foremost, thank you. Um, Wanted to touch on a couple things that have been brought up, like starting with IRL. You know, it's like this week alone, I went and met a Decentraland family member who we all know and love, and we kicked it. And we had a great lunch and time, and we laughed and we did it. This is a place to gather community and find your people. And always lend out your hand to find more dope people for other people to meet and experience. And in that sense, it's totally working. And it was another real victory. You know I've hung out with Sin, I've hung out with Bio, I've hung out with a bunch of people from the Decentraland community. And it does work. It is a platform for growth around you, you know? So it's working. And yeah, this is, I kind of feel like this all started last music festival. Even if we feel like we're starting again on a rebuild, this started last year, right? Like, the, I think so. As much as there have always been trials and tribulations in Decentraland's road, the road has been long for the last like literally 1 year since we all got naked for the culture when we were hanging out listening to music fest and we weren't really sure into rave mode into kind of we got thrown into chaos there. And so I think everything we're feeling now, regardless of our friends list or having to rebuild or stuff not working, I feel like it stems from that period on even more than the beginning on, and us feeling like not hopeless or not like people can't make these changes, but that when's it going to just be stable feeling, and us always feeling like we have to explain ourselves and whys and the ergs and the frustration, like, but this is a new experience right now, and I do feel like it's for the better in the long run. And obviously there's a bunch of stuff that I really want working, and it's almost it's really stressful or nerve-wracking to even be like, okay, let's throw an event right now and see what happens, right? Because we don't know what's going to go on, but it is prettier, and the people are still coming, like, and we'll see what happens. I do think not having a friends list for during music fest is kind of a disappointment, if I just had to be honest, just because it's then we don't get to lock in those new friends or people, or help people find the next thing once they come back, right? But I'm really, really friggin' excited for Music Fest. I mean, this is my favorite event in the entire year. Um, Man, that's where I fell in love, right? I mean, Decentraland, when we were hanging out the first time when things were getting airdropped, and Paris Hilton was DJing with Blue Boy and all, and Dead Mouse was there, and I mean, that was like really seeing what could be possible. And I really hope this time re-inspires another group of people to fight through whatever trials and tribulations we have, and just enjoy the company, enjoy the process, and be really excited for what the future holds. So really grateful for the people in this room who make this stuff possible. And I mean, I'm learning slowly how to chip away. I ask questions every day to somebody on how to fix something. Thank you, Rustam, for being patient with me through all these different experiences. And when I'm asking questions too, Absolute Dap and Dr. Drip and people who make this worth doing. But there is a group of people in this room always willing to try and help, even if the answers aren't immediate. We do get them. So patience, fun, keep welcoming amazing people around you to try something new. I'm grateful for y'all. GM.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm grateful for you, Make. Thank you for coming up and sharing and, kind of giving us that pep talk as well. AJ, I'll pass it over to you. I see your hand is up.
Simple. Thank you, Simple. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay, cool. I am a fan of, well, FAFO, fuck around and finding out. And to what you were saying earlier about, kind of being bummed about there not being the friend thing. Well, we didn't always have that as a feature. And I remember back when ABC, first started doing tours and, figuring out where we were going to go. UMAC, if you guys remember UMAC, when she first started hanging out in Decentraland, she just created a spreadsheet, and that thing was gold, right? And I think, Kanessa, you also have your own spreadsheet, and then like we sort of mash those together, and so like there's a way around it. You can still click on a person's profile, and you can access their address, right? So I'm gonna make a suggestion to make a friend. Is I don't know, I've got like 10 of those Galaxy bucket hats. And I got them for like 2 mana a piece. I don't know how long ago, but find something that's kind of snazzy. And when you make a friend, um, you know, first ask for permission or consent. Like, hey, can I send you something? And then just drop them an emote or a wearable. Something that that's what we have, right? We're creators, and we've got wearables, we've got emotes. If you're a DJ, you've got music or whatnot. But just exchange more than pleasantries. Leave something behind. I'm a big fan of sharing. Sharing helps everyone win. So to be able to make that friend and to keep them interested is to offer them something just beyond a handshake or a bit of conversation. Um, and then the other thing I just wanted to mention, the ABC tour is gonna happen in about Jesus, what, that 2.5 hours from now? What time is it? Anyway,
Would it
I
be
just
three,
wanna go ahead. Hello.
would it be 3.5? Is it 6 p.m. Eastern?
No. See, with the time change, we kept it the same internationally, so it's 5 p.m. Eastern until the rest of the world does the daylight savings time change. I think it's 5 p.m. Go to the go to the events page, and whatever that says, that's the time. I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern. But if it's not 5, you can just hang out in the clubhouse for an hour until we show up. But yeah, I just want to invite everybody to the tour. I'm running a special, kind of a different promotion. I started last week, but I didn't give it enough lead time for people to try it out, to check it out. But if you take pics along the tour and then post them, there's a way to be entered to win 1,000 DGen, which it was below 1 penny per, but now it's like bouncing around 3 pennies. So it's done 3x in the last week. So it could be anywhere between $25 and $30, depending on where it ends up when you decide to transfer your DGen over, if you want to keep it. I know that Derek, a couple weeks back, did a little mini and he found out where I was in Decentraland, and he got 1,000 degen. But I'm really working hard to cross the the Decentraland community with the Farcaster community. There's a really talented core group of developers over there that have, like in Decentraland, they've been hanging on, hodling for whatever, how many years in the bull market. Farcaster's been in development for 4 years or whatever. So uh, there's some exciting things happening over there. JTV was talking earlier about point of sale or end commerce. Um, they've really got some cool things figured out where you can convert crypto from your timeline. Uh, you can airdrop NFTs from your timeline. You can mint your own cryptocurrency token just from the timeline using an AI bot. So I'm really excited about it. I'd love to get more people from Farcaster into Decentraland. I know that there's a number of you that are still over at Farcaster, but yeah, I just want to encourage you to come to the tour, and even if you don't want to take pics, just come along and have fun, and let's make some memories together. Thanks.
I want to shout out I probably say it wrong, Mauhedi, an old guy who stopped by my parcel and snapped a photo of the avatar of my dog that I'm trying to make the most represented dog in the metaverse, and having her on many different platforms as a really cool picture. I think it looks like he's even got his hand, setting on her back or her neck, like he's petting her, which is so freaking cool. And also, I want to thank those of you that have been coming to virtual destinations on Wednesday. Decentraland is definitely the most supportive of all the places I've been, people I know, for showing up. I greatly appreciate. We greatly appreciate that. And I don't ever expect somebody to be there every time. Uh, I always say, come as you're able. It's always appreciated and noticed. Um, Although we started a half hour early for one person, well, actually two, because I wanted to put the full blame on him, and he's not even here today, Mr. Jared, because of it interferes with his Survivor. But I wanted to give him crap.
I love that. For anybody that doesn't know Jared, they'd be like, wait, what? Like, what has Survivor got to do with it? But, he's out on his route, probably talking to dogs and bringing them dog treats. And yeah, so that was, that's very kind of you.
And I do see Make's hand is up.
Yeah, I also just wanted to tap and apologize to the international community for my lack of understanding between daylight savings time and UTC 2 weeks in a row. Once I didn't think about it, and then I went the wrong way. So, got to figure that out. God, I definitely got rugged by daylight savings time.
I swear to God, I see every year lately that it's going away.
I mean, we can only
But it
we can only dream.
never finished.
We can only dream.
I do want to say I swear it passed one of the houses, but it had to go through the other one. I don't know how many times people have told me, "Oh yeah, no, it's done. It's done. This will be the last time." I'm sick of hearing this will be the last time and it not. Just be done with it already. something to complain about and take my mind off complaining about Decentraland.
Somebody complain about daylight savings times. Talk to Shelly Van, who has to book multiple acts, one after the other, and they get attended by people all around the world. This is her least favorite time of year, where there's the U.S. changes to daylight savings time, and the rest of the world has not yet changed. It totally fucks with her existence. So I definitely and relate.
And I have to shout out a few new friends in World, Melik and Future Zaver. Sending you guys some wearables. It's awesome to see some new friends. If anybody does wearables, Melik had questions about like creating your own custom wearable that would look like you. So not sure if Future Saver is with us here on Twitter, but Melik is in the crowd, so shoot a follow down there. And they found us on CBD, so yeah, now we got you. And I'm sending you more wearables, so if anybody else wants to share some goodies with them, I'm sure they'd love it. It's always fun to open my backpack and be like, what do I have to send you today? Because I am actually running out after like 2 solid years of giving stuff away. I need to buy more.
You're stuck with us. You're now part of the cult.
Wait, remember we weren't going to talk about the cult. We weren't going to call it that.
Oh yeah, we're rebranding to the Fun Group.
What do you do if you're in 2 cults?
Nah, you have to choose one. It's we
Oh, don't tell me that. Do not tell me that.
Usually they end up pretty bloody. Last man standing. Sometimes it's a matter of like numbers, whose community has numbers than the other. Or maybe they have a Rustan or something. Like Rustan can at least take out like 15 community members by himself.
I'm doomed.
I think we settle this in a battle royale.
So like all of us between the different cults get in one battle royale match and just everyone for themselves.
Yep, winner takes all. I call old guy and simple on my cult team. And then we'll fight.
Doomed. I'm definitely.
Well, no, we're fighting for you. We're fighting to get you to stay. So we're fighting. You're the prize.
Yes.
And see, they're completely different cults. There's Decentraland, and then there's an X space.
Oh damn, we have to go. We have to eat ourselves now.
I think there's room for all. Is AJ speaking? I see his mic open, but I don't hear him.
Neither do I.
Neither do I. I do see his mic is open though.
I still don't hear it. Oh, there it goes. It's off. I just hope they both serve the same flavor Kool-Aid. I guess black cherry's my preferred.
Black cherry. What's the difference between a black cherry and?
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't let you finish because I was pretty positive I knew what you were going to ask, and I've wondered that myself.
But like, yeah, for any new listeners, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time, and yeah, we're here every week. So happy to see a lot of you. Happy to see those who are here every week, as well as even those that we see every other week. We love you all. And I do want to give a big shout out to our friend SRJH down there in the crowd. I saw him pop in. Good, let's see. Good almost afternoon to you, Josh. Hope you're doing well, my brother. I've been seeing you in the woods lately. Hope you're having fun, with the doggo, the dingo.
I have something for him.
That sounds exciting.
For him doing the Day of the Dead Niling. Not only did he get a Niling, but I'll just say it. I have, because I told him to come to the CB Discord when we were in there one night. I was hoping he would pop in, and I would have gave it to him then. I used my Nile coin, and I got you your VRM version of your Nile.
Oh, damn. Which reminds me, I think the other day you asked me for like my NIO number or something. I need to get it to you.
Yes, you do. If you would like a VRM of one of them, I would do that for you.
What's up, friends? How are we doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
better not. You're here.
Hi, Vanessa. That's very nice. Makes me feel good. I couldn't leave you hanging. Called me out. Existence. I saw your message, but I didn't see it until the next day, unfortunately.
I figured. It's all good, but that I forgot about it, and now that they called you out here, it reminded me. So I will get that to you.
I am around. I've been very, very busy trying to stay in the zone, making art stuff. So, but yeah, thank you, Sinful. Things are good. I have been good. I hope things have been good for you too.
Heck yeah, I got paid for the first time yesterday. And it's all gone now, but I got paid.
Get the monies.
The monies, burn the monies. That's how it goes.
I really wish now that I'm up here, I had something cool to report, but I actually don't.
Jeez.
Boo.
Yes, you do. You've been doing more. You've been doing time lapses. You've been like drawing. You've been leaning into your art.
You're right.
That's wonderful.
You're right. I have been actually quite a bit. It's been good. I made a TikTok. Never had one of those before. So somewhere to put my time lapses.
Oh, that is awesome. Can we find it? Is it the same username as we would expect?
I believe it's the same as my Twitter account. I have a Linktree link in my Twitter bio. So it's in there. If anyone's interested.
Yeah, I've seen it. Some of it come across my Twitter feed. But for the rest of you, if you are on Farcaster or if you get on Farcaster, you'll probably see it quite a bit more. And I think you can buy it directly off the Farcaster app, as AJ mentioned earlier.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. I completely forget. Some of the time lapses I have been minting as NFTs on Base, and they're free. You don't have to buy them. You just got to follow me on Warpcast, and should be available.
Well, that is awesome. Everybody should be on Base if they're okay with the Base, whatever, everything that comes with that. Like, I love Base. I'm addicted. I did not know you were on there, and I haven't found you yet, so I will have to find you and follow you. I'm still navigating it. I'm still kind of figuring out like how to use my Base wallet and stuff.
And send me, if you have it, the rendition of what I want. I'm hoping in the next month or two I'll be working my way up there to see you to do some art on myself.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely stay in touch with you about that. But yeah, Knessa base is pretty cool. It's cheap. I've been using Manifold a lot for my mints just because they have the Farcaster Mint Frame app that you can use, which is pretty slick. I haven't really ventured past that as far as like minting stuff for Farcaster, but if anyone has any suggestions, I'll definitely take a look. I have a, I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself so educated in the matter, but like I definitely at times have doubts about Manifold's involvement with Farcaster because I've messaged them about different things a couple different times and I've never received responses. And I don't know, AJ, you might know a little more about that, but
Is AJ still up here? I see him as connecting on my screen.
yeah,
he's left, as from what I can see.
Yeah, same. There he is.
Maybe he comes.
Right
yeah. Okay.
I see.
I can hear you, but your volume is very low.
Oh, I can't hear AJ.
Me either.
Like very low, like so low.
How low can you go?
Like Brandon Manis low, or what are we talking?
No, like volume low.
I'm Mr. Solo Dolo. Damn it, I don't know why I thought about that song. All right, let's see. Can we wrangle our friend AJ back up to the stage?
But I'm gonna one up you, Knessa, and Fancy.
Are you gonna buy more wearable?
What? That like
nope.
Those are fighting words. What are you gonna outdo Fancy and I in?
When I go see Josh SR.
Yeah,
sorry. When I go see SR, I'm gonna one up you.
I thought you were gonna go buy like 5,000 wearables. So okay, you got this.
He's getting a Decentraland back piece.
Oh, you're getting it. Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Snap. Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm kidding. He's not actually.
Oh, because I was like, okay, SRJH, how much time would a arm sleeve take? Because I live 1,000 miles away. Is this like 2 trips or like 1 trip? Like, could we get this? So it's on my bucket list. Maybe there'll be DC, California.
Yeah, I mean,
or something.
It really just depends on like what kind of tattooing we're going to be doing. But a full sleeve, it's an investment of time, absolutely. Depending on how long you could sit and take, a beating, it really depends on a lot. There's a lot of variables. I've never finished a full sleeve in 1 or 2 sessions. It's always been 4 or 5, sometimes more, depending on the person.
I think the existing one that I have that I would want covered up took like 3.5 hours in the chair. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how the process would go. It might be like, cool, your body's fine, or it might be like, no.
With like traditional tattooing, I can move pretty quick. So I mean, if it's in that realm, like that wheelhouse of that style, I can do it a lot faster. If it's anything like more on the like black and gray, out of the traditional realm, it takes a little longer. I take my time. I take the time that's necessary. AJ is back.
AJ is back.
Wait, you sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
Just imagine this is not talking.
Did you find Peanut? He
If
is alive?
Peanut really is alive? Okay. So while AJ reconnects, What would the going rate on a full back piece, the Decentraland back piece be?
Oh, you're not a chipmunk
What the hell?
anymore.
Oh, I was like, what? He was not even on my screen when I heard
Same.
that.
Welcome back, AJ.
Hey, thank you. Real quick, Josh, I just wanted to say, check out Rodeo. Most of the people in WAC, the Wayward Artist Collective, use Rodeo now. It's got a cleaner integration with Warpcast specifically and with Farcaster in general. It's also super cheap. I have not used it myself, but I know that is the go-to tool for the 2D artists in the artist space. And if you need somebody to walk you through it, are you in the WAC group cast? And if you're not, I can invite you.
Rodeo check, and yes, I believe so. Is it
okay?
The group direct cast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's basically the group chat. It's whatever you call it, group cast, whatever you want to fucking call it. But it's the one that's it's not out in the public. You got to go to direct casts, and then it's the one that's got the woman who's flipping everybody off. That's the logo for the private group cast.
Okay. Yes, I'm in there.
Yeah.
I'll browse through it, check it out.
Okay. Yeah, you could just post your question in there and just like, hey, I'm interested in getting onto Rodeo. What resources could you recommend, or can somebody help me out, or whatever? It's a really friendly group of people. They're all, primarily artists first, and we've all just sort of like figured shit out by trying to help each other. So if there's somebody there, if the people there can't tell you directly, they will pass you on to a person who can. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've always had good interactions and good experience with the WAC group. Absolutely. So I'll definitely go there first. I appreciate it, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I hope you're doing well.
Thanks.
Holiday seasons are upon us. You look good. You've been running and staying fit. I love to see it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm about to actually run over to the gym. Do a little workout before today's tour. I wanted to mention that there's a DCL channel on Farcaster. I sent out a bunch of invitations earlier today. So yeah, if you go onto Warpcast and you just look for /DCL, it's kind of like Reddit in that way. You should be able to find it. I've been casting some stuff about Decentraland Music Festival, any the things that Kim has been posting in the CBD or on X. I've just been cross posting over there as much as I can. So yeah, you can drop a line if you don't have an invitation. I've got it locked down pretty tight because with increased popularity, the bots and the spammers come in. So if you don't have an invitation, just send me a direct cast and I can send you one, and then I'll add you to be somebody that can post on the channel. So just reach out to me.
Amazing. Yeah, I actually just looked and I did have an invitation. So I am in there now.
Cool.
Thank you. And Kanessa, we can definitely work out something, however it needs to swing. We'll figure it out. I'm down.
That would be awesome. It's time. It would be awesome to have something else on my arm. So yeah, never get tattoos, guys. Just tattoos are not forever, but they kind of are and kind of aren't. So it would be an honor to have a tattoo from you. Like I don't even know what it would be. I took a break of like 20 years between my last tattoo and then the Decentraland logo that I got on my wrist, which I got at like a random convention in a casino in Arizona, which is like such a good way to get a tattoo. Yeah, it'll be cool.
Is it bad that I've been telling all my friends that I have no tattoos, but the day I get a tattoo, it's gonna be from Josh, and he will be the only one allowed to tattoo me? I will be your canvas, Josh. You just have to fly to Florida, though.
I've never been to Florida. I would love to go to Florida.
Oh,
Let's make it happen.
let me tell you, you would like Naples as far as relaxation goes.
You gonna take me to a spa, Simple?
I mean, we have the beaches down here. That basically that's basically a spa. I mean, I unfortunately, this does tend to be a bougier town, so like a spa day may require some seed funding.
You heard it, everyone. Simple and I need a spa day. Feel free.
You'd like to fund me. But yeah, dude, it's been really good hearing from you, and yeah, I definitely have been seeing you more active on all your socials and stuff like that. And I mean, definitely like seeing that type of activity from a friend of mine, it, like even gets me thinking, like I need to find a way to like kind of streamline making at least one post a day on all platforms. Like
Yeah, what was you were telling me about something before that allows you to like cross post to like Twitter, Warpcast. I'm not sure what else, but
Lucy just posted about it on X.
are you talking about Yup?
Yup is one of them, but it's not called Yup. I'm trying to remember what it is, and I'm looking for it. I'm gonna go on mute. I'll find it and then I'll come back. She just posted it like this last week with a video. I think it's even in Spanish. The instructions.
Oh, cool. There's more platforms besides Yup that are trying to like integrate that. That's good to see. But I mean, yeah, that and it also comes down to like personal organization. Like perhaps maybe I need to like start scheduling tweets and scheduling posts and stuff like that, or like I don't know, having an Excel file or something. Be a grown
Firefly app.
Firefly app. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna I guess I'm gonna pin it up to the top of the space. Can I do that?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Feel free. Feel free.
Okay. All right.
And one exists. Go ahead.
Before I forget, for those of you that know our Waifuman King, Mr. Aaron Loop, he popped into our space on Wednesday, and has been some posts from one Mr. Michael Saylor about having some sort of party of sorts when Bitcoin reaches 100,000, and he is on a mission to get a metaverse party, whether it be in conjunction with an IRL, however it goes, but of course for it to be held within Decentraland. I'll see if I can find uh, the the post on that, and maybe if we make enough noise, it'll at least come across his eyes, and who knows what might happen. And the descent and Kim did say they are on it as well. So let's make some noise.
Do you think Michael Saylor would invest in a Mew bubble?
If we make enough noise. And I may be.
I don't know. Are there any for sale? I mean, I don't think you could have one if
really?
you wanted one.
Actually, I have.
Those things they're hard to come by.
Yeah, I haven't checked the second market in a while. Maybe I should and see what's going on there. Sorry about that. Got a little distracted here. But yeah, AJ, I'll definitely check out Firefly. I mean, and to one exist, like, I mean, what is the method of making noise? What is considered making noise for Michael Saylor? Would it be like banging his DMs, being like, "Come to Decentraland, join our cult," or
like, repost. If you are on other platforms, I don't Insta, I don't TikTok. But if you happen to be on there and can find his account, shout it out there. Make it look good. That's my best. If anybody else has ideas, let's hear them. I mean, we got Decentraland on them themselves, allegedly working on it too. So, I mean, that should be a pretty big boost.
Can I just you made me think of something, existence, and that is in the last couple of weeks, I've reintroduced some people who have been on Decentraland in the past, and just calling back to what Rustam was saying about, hour and a half, 2 hours ago, or whenever it was, when he was talking about, how far we've come in 3 years. And I remember when when I'd have some people come into Decentraland, and I was a Decentraland apologist, like, oh yeah, that's broken, oh yeah, whatever. And I gotta say, within the last week, haven't had to deal with rave mode. It was super simple for the person to go to decentraland.org, download the app, and then just start following me around. And I had a high level of confidence that what I was experiencing is what they were experiencing. And I don't know if you guys remember, like, people having significant game systems, but still not being able to handle Decentraland. There was just, issue after issue. And I think we as humans, we habituate to, not just all the problems or whatever, but we also habituate to, when things are successful, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And then we kind of forget about those things that were a problem, that were a pain point. So yeah, I want to call attention to the fact that those were pleasant experiences. Just noticing for what they weren't, which was, I wasn't having to apologize. It was just like, oh, and then we'll go here, and I knew that they could see super far off into the distance. It's like, didn't have to deal with, oh, okay, so the SLR, you need to change that. That's the scene load radius. It's like, okay, no, fuck that. I don't want to have to explain what that is to a person. I just know that when they're out running around and they hit the V key like 3 times, one of them that's going to be like super far away, perspective with the avatar, super tiny, and they can just look off into the distance and they're like, oh yeah, I see that thing. And then we can be like, okay, let's run over there. And that's that, just that happenstance discoverability that, as Rustam was saying earlier, is like no other place has that. And that is super powerful, especially when when we're doing a tour, or like, Canessa, when you and Sinful and Rustan did that Beyond the NFT a couple of weeks ago, we were just kind of running around. That was a whole lot of fun. And there were things that, that I had never seen before, because the top-down map view doesn't show it. Maybe you can't see it from the road. And if you didn't have your scene load radius up super high, then it just wasn't something you discovered. So it's hard for me to believe that in 3 years' time, there's things in Decentraland that I haven't seen, but there absolutely are. And it's fun to discover stuff like that.
I mean,
Yeah, it's fun exploring. Like I don't know. Zom is the king of steps in Decentraland. If but I love like I'm trying to get my steps in, but the exploring and like just randomly running around the map, it's pretty fun. Like I've found more things that I didn't know existed, or I'm seeing them like new again because they're in the SDK 7 instead of 6, just because of like running around the map, trying to get that little badge. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it to as far as Zom has with my badges anytime soon. But there have been like really cool things that I'm like, who made this? Like, uh, just a lot of magic out there in the world, and it definitely makes me appreciate the open ownership of this world, where it is, like we were saying earlier in this one, it is definitely unique, like so special just to be able to run through the world and find the most random stuff, random art, crazy art. I'm sad to say that the pixelated orgy did not transfer over to SDK 7 very well. So if anybody knows the creator of that, they got some that scene needs to be converted to SDK 7, because that was best use of pixels, in my book. So
Are you talking the voxels?
yeah,
The voxel orgy that didn't make it?
it's there, but it's not as robust.
Okay. Did it lose
It
all
is
the
not as
textures? Because there's some places in Dragon City that are just like completely grayscale. Is that the problem?
I would say that the textures are flaccid.
Okay. Gotcha.
And there needs to be some yeah, somebody needs to retouch those textures with
With a
a
firm hand?
gentle
Oh,
hand,
gentle hand. Okay. Yeah.
or firm. I yeah,
Depending on what they like. Maybe they like it soft, maybe they like it hard. Who knows?
there. Yeah, I'll stop there. But yeah, there's something like trying to explain how it is. So like they were just um closed shapes, and now it's like they're open, like part of the walls of the, because they're pixelated, they're squares, so like part of the walls of the squares are not there, if that makes sense.
Oh, so it has to do with the normals. Maybe the normals are
Yeah,
the wrong direction and they don't have backface
yeah,
color. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
the orgy is not normal.
Okay.
That would be,
Well, we should
way
totally go back during ABC and check it out, because it might be fun to see an inverted voxelized sex orgy in Decentraland.
there were a lot of things inverted in that scene.
Hey,
But yes,
question: how did you get that? I'm in world and I'm seeing you and Rustan, and of course I got FOMO. You got your Stand with Crypto hoodie, and it's not on the market. And I know Mariana published it. It's under her account, but like how get Stand with Crypto hoodie?
It's really difficult. You have to go to your backpack and you open it and you're like, oh wow. I don't know how I got that.
Okay.
I don't know how I got
Okay.
it. It's weird. I'm guessing that it is a gift from Sweet Mariana, and I don't know. I think that maybe you could ask
Yeah, I'll hit
her.
her up. I'll
It
ask
is
her directly.
it's awesome to see her bring Stands with Crypto into Decentraland. I think she's bringing the bus with her. Oh, Rustan says just DM Mariana.
I'll do that. Cool. And then also something from in world. I'm like Sinful when Mew token, and you said he's already got one, but where is it? What blockchain, Sinful?
Yeah, I do have a Mew token. It was made by my friend Art, like for me, like maybe back in 2021, 2022, and it's on Polygon, and yeah,
Okay.
I like to just mess around with it and send it to my friends. Like for example, Josh down here is a Mew token whale. So whenever he's feeling sad, he just like sits back and reflects. He's like, at least I hold a lot of Mew token, and
But did you know there's also a Mew token that's 83 on CoinMarketCap? There's you have competition, and it's in the top 100, so watch out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw that Mew token eventually come out like earlier this year or like late last year. It's
Yeah, I
like
don't
I
give a
think.
fuck about that one. I want Sinful Mew token.
Oh, well, that is definitely possible. I do have a lot of it. And I mean, it all comes down to like setting up the infrastructure for it. And like I guess it's like good that I am back in the workforce, and uh some monies because now I can afford to like actually shop around to get this infrastructure build. If there was a way that I could set up Mew token to be distributed through my Twitch streams while I host Beyond the NFT.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
You may want to talk to Billy. I know that he's got a pretty robust prize reward system. So he may be somebody to use as a resource.
Yeah, definitely. I like what Billy does with his like with his Twitch. But yeah, I actually should talk to Billy. But that step will come once I have like a little bit of funds in hand and be like, help. uh but yeah, I thought about even setting it up for like claiming wearables, like any Twitch viewers collecting that Meal token and then using that to claim some wearables out of a wallet or something. That
No.
even be something like a concept you could use for Giving Tree.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. And I think the fact that your token is on Polygon, is on Matic, is good, right? It's a good thing to have it there, be native, so that any tools that exist within Decentraland, there's already dispensers and whatnot, contracts to utilize through Polygon. So yeah, I look forward to further development. I've had a lot of thoughts, about that, especially in this last week. Um, a little over a week ago, there was the Luminous token that was created by, it was like spontaneous AI bot to AI bot crypto token creation. So one AI bot was on Farcaster and it said to another, "Hey, will you create me a token?" And the AI bot that creates tokens is like, "Yeah, sure." And then it's gone like 1,000x since last Friday. Again, not financial advice, but it's again like what I was saying earlier about just if you have a certain amount to fuck around and find out and play and have fun with. I've had a significant amount of fun with it. I did my first successful liquidity pool this past week, so that was a fun learning experience. But yeah, back to Mew token. I'm really excited. It's like it's just an opportunity for me to be able to support you, right? Like if Josh, you've got your artwork on Farcaster on base, and I love seeing what you're working on, and then just to be able to snag a little piece of that, it helps me feel connected to you. The fact that I've got the Mew bubble and I'm wearing it in World. It took me a while to save up to get it, and I think I got it from Mary Shark. And that's another important point of connection. So it's made me more connected to Sinful. It made me more connected to Mary. And when I come to an event like this and I can put it on and I see Canessa wearing hers and Sinful wearing his, it's just, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I see Liz here, and I know she's got a new hairstyle. And last week ABCs, we were lucky enough to be able to give one of those away as a prize. It's just it's all part of how we knit the community together. We're at Canessa's place. She's wearing the Stand with Crypto that Mariana published. It's all part of what keeps us together. So more of that, please.
For sure, for sure. More of that, please. Uh, Man, today has actually been a very nice space. What do you think, Vanessa?
Oh, it's a beautiful space. Definitely 10 out of 10. Recommend. I don't know, maybe it's just maybe things feel different than they did a few months ago. Um lot of big things happening, and yeah, I imagine it's hopefully going to stay on this trajectory. I think it's all because of the doodle cups, you guys. See the doodle cups that I pinned up above? I think it's that. I think people don't realize how happy it's making everybody.
Get a doodle cup.
I am so bad, you guys. Like, if you want to sell something, just make a real life thing for me to buy. Like, all I'm just so freaking happy with like those
Do you have a
cups.
Mew hoodie?
And I do. I have a Seed hoodie. I have a Dr. Drip hoodie. I have a DG hoodie. I I have DGen's coffee. I have Roots chocolate. I have a shoe. Well, actually, I gave away all the shoe stickers. I realized I was stupid and I didn't keep one for myself.
Oh, well, I think you may have an opportunity in the not too distant future to acquire more.
What? Okay, I want that.
We need shoe stickers all around, please.
And I see Make. You came back up. How are you?
Hey, just sitting in the cut back here. Want to talk a little bit about CBD Music Festival, see how we're cooking. I know that, just reminding some people out here that that's going to happen. I know I signed up, so just wanted to check in, see where we're at, see if there are needs. I mean, we're all in this together, and I mean, somebody's just got to butt in with a big ass mouth.
Well, we talked about it early on, and so since then we might have had new friends come in the space. So yeah, I guess sorry, just go microwave your lunch if you've already heard it the first time around. But CBD Community Building Decentraland Music and Arts Festival coming up on November 30th. It's after the big one because we wanted to have it's awesome. Actually, it's like I think when we started planning it, we didn't know how many community members would actually be participating in the official one, the official music festival. So it's awesome. Like that's it's actually like really good that they're that all of our friends are participating there. But for other, we were talking about like if you're smaller artist or you're just not 100% comfortable getting up on the big stage, like this is a really cool way to share your skills. You don't have to be, you can everybody's welcome, even like maybe Mariana and I will finally make our debut. I don't know if you're good with a harmonica, you can come by, join us. um let's see, Sin, you've got the sign up form. Also, if you're a visual artist, like if you make video or 2D or 3D. I want your art. I want to showcase you and your work. So yeah, I personally, since I'm not a musician, would love to see the arts celebrated. Like we don't have to wait for Art Week to show off our friends. And I have a lot collected from different people, but certainly if you've got something you want to showcase, even if it's just a doodle, like it's okay. It doesn't have to be big art, and it could be pencil, paper. Take a picture of it. Like it doesn't. I don't know. Like everybody's an artist in some ways, so I will put that in. I'm working on a new build. I'm excited about it. Lee, hopefully, hopefully it'll be good enough. I'm like my own worst critic, so I'm like, it's not working the way I see it. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. Is there anyone, Make and Sin, that you see in the audience that you got to send an invite out to that we haven't reached yet? Because there we go. There now we'll target them.
Are we gonna attack them? What's up? What are we doing? Well, let's take a look here. Well,
I don't know, because who's like who's shown interest in. Maybe there's other people that aren't like. I feel like old guy might be really good with the spoons. Like I would love to hear like a spoons
this.
set, but
Oh my
yeah.
God, it's just like straight up ASMR of like spoons and then him throwing a steak on the grill. Just this, you hear the.
Oh my God, yeah. OG ASMR, and then in the background you hear a SMG or you hear a scar, just boom, boom, boom. 15, 29 dead.
But I mean the off rip, I do see Steve Sy and Abel, two individuals that I would love to have perform at the CBD event. So I mean, I will definitely send them a form, and invite, at least present the invitation, and then yeah, I'll be in your DMs, guys. I should actually do it now.
It's nice. Like there's been a few people that like showed interest in going to the main music fest, and they were like, "Oh, how do we get involved?" And then Kim was like, "Well, like the lineup for the main fest is already set, but like here's some other ways that you might be able to participate." So it's kind of cool to have this option, just for people that at least want to come in and test out Decentraland, see what it's all about, play the music.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I fat fingered that. It's Canessa talking. I see the squigglies.
No, I'm not talking. I wasn't.
Oh. Anyway, Make, I saw you on mute.
So we're gonna run 2 days of events, or 24 hours. What are we doing? Like final countdown, just for everybody.
We're gonna break up into three teams, 8-hour shifts. We're gonna no, I mean the we're thinking at least 2-day events. Maybe depending on how many performers we have. If we can get 12 performers, maybe split 2 6-hour days. Or if we get 2 5-hour days, we could even squeeze in, or even continue with 6-hour days. Squeeze in like an extracurricular event. Who knows? Maybe Scatline would like to do an interview in between, or yeah, whatever. We can do some sort of segments.
Yep.
No 16-hour make a mute fest, huh? Boo! I was brewing coffee.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not?
All right. So we're gonna break up into three teams, 8-hour shifts.
Well, if we have like a global, if we had everybody around the world helping, like other people we could go to sleep. We could have like Kenji take over for the Asian time zones, and then somebody else could definitely do
it. uh, um, we need 24 performers. We are currently at 7. Um, so
Well,
yeah,
I'm about to pamp. I'm gonna pamp for you. Well, one thing that's come up that'd be worth talking about is the other day in the record shop, Abel and Nate were talking, and Nate mentioned when he went to step in and do the show the other day, he thought it's almost better that they do pre-records, and that way they could spend more time in world and communicating with the people. So just putting that out there for people, that it might be an option to keep things going a little bit for those of you who might want to do something, not have all the rigging together or stuff so you don't feel overwhelmed. It might be easier to submit.
yep, in the forum there is an option for pre-record, like, to say if you're gonna do a pre-record set or a live set. The only differences would be like, if it's, pre-recorded, then I would be the one playing the video at the scheduled time, and keeping it going while you enjoy the party. And if it's live, you have control of the screen, and or you're going to be projected onto the screen, and yeah, be performing your set.
And I think I said this to you, but just to say it in the open, we are welcome to use my server as well if people need to use it and schedule. That way things can flow. You got it, family.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so far that's at least progress on the music side. Um, I'm hoping Vape will come through and perform. I miss him. It's been a while since we had him perform. He's been pulling up to the Beast roaming events on Fridays, and
I've been
support.
heckling him. I've been really heckling Vaped about it, but I haven't started to chase down people. I was on a Soma vacation last week, so I'm just getting back in action, and also just want to see how, from the community, from the inside out, first and foremost, like who wants to participate before we welcome new people or people we've had in once or twice.
For sure. Um, One exists.
Sorry, mine's just a quick off topic. Uh, I don't care. He's still the champ. I feel he still won in many, many ways. Mike Tyson. I can't believe I watched it, but I do have to shout out Biometa, who made it possible for me to get to see any of the fight. So, um, I mean, come on, guys, half his age, he had the stamina, but Mike took it all the way to the end. Fucking kudos to him.
Oh yeah, that man could definitely beat the fuck out of me. Like, like we're talking about, like, this kid Jake Paul. He's actually been practicing this stuff, so he's definitely got some sort of conditioning behind him. But let's say you throw me against Mike Tyson, he'll bite my ear off for sure. Like, that biting habit thing he was doing, like, and he got asked about it at the
Yes, that was
PlayStation.
funny.
Well, like that would have been towards like my ear, and I I'm surprised it wasn't Jake Paul's ear. I'm surprised you didn't get to Jake Paul's ear.
Well, I I don't ever watch boxing. That may have very well have been the first boxing match I watched, but it really seemed to me that Jake was, you know, keeping his distance for as long as he could, as much as he could, to wear him down. Um, I will say I did not care for Jake at all, but I did appreciate that at the end, the conversation they had, showing Mike a lot of respect was was pretty cool.
Of course, they both walked out making millions. I'm pretty convinced that, all that stuff is an act.
Yeah, it could very well be like WWE or whatever it's called now, WWF. I did used to watch that though. I did get into that. I don't know why. I was kind of. It was the age of the Undertaker. I remember.
Hey, me too. I got into it when I was 12. You should have seen me and my friends jumping off of furniture, like doing backflips and landing on each other. It was great. There's this one year, my little sister, on her birthday party, she got a bounce house. So me and my friends took this bounce house and made it into a wrestling bounce house. I remember
Pile driver.
that day. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, is someone speaking and I can't hear?
No,
I
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I I heard silence.
Who was it sponsored by, Canessa? Tell us.
It was sponsored by Rishi Girl. Go get your Summer Breeze top, available now in the DCL marketplace.
I
Silence may be
I
golden, but it can also be deadly.
I feel like we could use this strategy here. Like we need to start taking on some sponsors, Canessa.
Yeah, we you know what? Fuck it. We'll sponsor ourselves.
Yes. I mean that's basically the plan until someone else believes in enough.
Well, and at that note, maybe it is time to ask if anybody has any other conversations. Usually it's like when we start making funny jokes that nobody laughs to, it's like, yep, it's time to start wrapping it up. But then that's when we start like the 3 hour good meat conversation of the whole day.
Good meat.
That's when the gold comes out, when we're starting to wind down. Like but yeah, if anyone has any pressing matters that they would like to discuss, or just chat about anything that you're doing, and something to look forward to this coming week on Decentraland or in Web3, you're more than welcome to come up and share. If not, yeah, we'll probably start to wind down here, and we could enjoy the rest of our Saturday afternoon. So about the back piece, Josh, how much what do you think would be the going rate of just a giant Decentraland back piece?
Get me a spa day simple, and I got you.
We'll do it at the spot. Oh no.
What if the spa day is in like a swamp, like a Floridian swamp?
Very possible, very possible. I do live across the street from a giant sanctuary. Go ahead, Josh.
You're right, Knessa. I gotta really think about these terms and conditions a little bit more.
There is some freaking show out there, something about living in Florida, and it's, I don't want to say stupid people, but I suffered through 2 episodes, and the second one was some dumbass who went who went swimming for some reason and got his freaking arm bitten off by an alligator. So I recommend staying out of the swamp.
Well, to be fair, okay, look at I don't know this in the
To be fair,
to be fair, I don't know this individual's background, but if it was like someone from up north, I could see it happening, like or just a young kid, because like not a lot of people know it's like in Florida, don't swim on any body of water that is fresh water. Just don't swim in it. It's infested with gators. You should.
he he came from Ohio, but he had lived there, I'm pretty sure, long enough and knew there were gators.
I told you the story about my friend Gator Bait Tim, right?
Yes, yes, I do believe so. And then there's the whole Gucci toe story as well.
Yep. So if anyone's curious, like the Gator, my friend Gator Bait Tim, and he calls himself this. We're not saying this behind his back. Um, he back in high school, or he just graduated high school. I was a senior. He was partying out at this little lake we call the Crystal, and yeah, he was partying late at night, and there was like video of like this is the creepy part. The party going on. Someone like was like started like was filming what was happening at the event at the party, and then like flashes the camera over to the water, and you see like two little specks of light come out of it, and then you see like Tim walking towards the water. uh he got his hand bit off, and now he has a whole segment in our local school JROTC like a teaching curriculum on survival. Josh, any questions?
No questions. That is a wild story. I don't even know how I raised my hand, and I wasn't sure how to put it down.
uh, yeah, but yeah, Tim is doing good. Tim is doing good. I see him every once in a while. Pretty popular in my town, probably because of the nub.
I mean, that's pretty. That's wild. Imagine deciding that teaching not tying is the way to go after you lose a hand. That'd be rough.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah, the school, like he back in school he was like in JROTC, so like the sergeant, or I was in JROTC too, so I refer to him proper, Sergeant Washington. Yes, that was his name. Um, he made a whole segment for within the survival curriculum in JROTC. Pretty cool. Pretty cool of an honor though, I would say.
Okay, what branch was your JROTC?
I believe he was in the army.
I'm not laughing. Sorry.
uh,
I was MC JROTC, so you know they taught us really young what Army stands for.
yes. Laugh it up, laugh it up. I know about you and your group of hoodlums, you devil dogs. But but
We were devil pups. The devil dogs hated us. My buddy's like, "How in the hell did they let you wear an Eagle Globe and Anchor at 14?" I'm like, "I don't know."
I see. They're like, this is sacrilegious. There should be arrests made.
Totally, totally. And I get it. I get it, you know. Ugh, yeah, we were punks.
The devil. But yeah. I think both of the JROTC instructors at school were both Army. One was major, the other sergeant. Uh, but yeah. Anyway, we were like winding down. Then we got into like gator stories and gator bait. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Stories just come out. But anyway, I guess what do you think, Vanessa? Good time to start winding down.
I think it's time. I think, we you mentioned like what's coming up this week. Music Fest is how many days away? What is it? The 16th. So Music Fest this week. Oh, here's a tip. Go buy cheap wearables now. There's some for like 0 mana. There's the glowy, it's like a top. It looks like a fleece jacket, and then glowy pants and shoes, and there's glasses. Go buy them now so you have a ton if you want to give away stuff. Like, I don't know. That's I like to do that because that way you don't have to like leave the conversation to try to go make a transaction to like send it to somebody. So I'm buying my giveaway stuff. Um, yeah. Otherwise, I think it'll be an interesting, good, fun week and lots of new friends coming in.
I sure hope so. So let's see. Make any final thoughts?
Yeah, let's get ready to party, man. I mean, this is the most fun of the year. So looking forward to hanging out with y'all. Gone fishing on Friday just to play more and can't wait. Great hanging with y'all.
Great hanging with you. Thank you for being here. And one exists. Final thoughts.
Um, just stay positive. Yeah, we started over, but keep building, and I hope you guys, people, will still join us on Wednesday for virtual destinations. We're going somewhere outside of Decentraland this time. It's one my co-host, old guy, is particularly excited about. Um, you may have heard it's called the Futureverse, which is encompasses actually a lot of things. So hopefully you guys can join us there. We are in Decentraland streaming it as well. Last week's was at my new place, but we'll be back. I think at the grill is what I set it up for, because we were gonna kind of maybe try going back and forth. If that gets confusing, we might do something different. But back at the grill next week. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you, and make it a great day.
Thank you. One exists. Josh, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, make noise by doing the things that you love. Make one exist. Kinessa, Sinful. It's good to hear your voices. Everyone else, thanks for hanging out. I hope everyone has a good day.
User Josh, always love hearing from you. Always do, my friend. It's how long has it been since we hung out? Like a week?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks, but I'm still here. We're still in it. Just doing what we need to do.
User. And let's take a look here, see. Oh, sorry, I was looking down here. Canessa, final thoughts?
I think just have a good week, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Yep, for sure, for sure. And yeah, it's been an awesome 3 hours and 45 minutes, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Uh, for those of you that tune in every single week, we really appreciate you, and we know who you guys are, um, guys and girls, and we love you all, and I do see a request. You caught us on the tail end of our space here, but Doc, definitely do encourage you to join us next week at noon Eastern for our weekly space. It will be week.
Ah, sorry. I got to shout out, say hello to Doc. Um, used to chat with them quite a bit over a year ago, and they popped into a space I was in and reunited with her recently. So I do have to give her a quick shout out. Thanks for dropping in, Doc. Join story time. Story time's coming up too, by the way. If you want to pop in there today, Doc, if you're able.
For sure, and
Sorry, Sam.
and I mean also, yeah, definitely let's connect, Doc. Maybe we can get you in the community building Decentraland Discord. We like to hang out in there, and that's basically our headquarters for like throughout the week, whenever we're not hosting these spaces. Um, but yeah, really appreciate you coming here, and yeah, come back next week and chat with us. We really would love to get to know you better. On that note, yeah, beyond the NFT Monday, we're gonna try to have Mac on the beat back once again. Uh, or not once again, but hopefully he can make it. Um, and yeah, it should be a good episode. Mac is pretty talented. From what I know, he does AMVs, like those like music videos with anime, like the really cool ones and shit like that. That's like dope. I don't know. I'm a consumer, I guess we can say. So very exciting to hear from him. What else? Toxic TikTok Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. And let's see, on Wednesday, what is anything happening on Wednesday? Vanessa, do you know?
I think the the space. Let's see, the space in the evening. One exists space.
Virtual destinations at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Virtual destinations, 8 p.m. Eastern. Nice, nice. There we go. There we go. Um, well, Thursday, I know there's a space with Bobby Yap and Ghost Train. Um, and I mean, are there any Decentraland events? I feel like I'm missing Mary Shark events, or are they like Fridays now, just straight up Fridays? I haven't looked at the schedule.
I think Fridays. And as she said, I think consistently on Fridays now.
I see. But 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 yeah, we love you all. We love you all, and thank you for being here. Um, and yeah, we'll be back next week. Take care, everyone.